transmission.
And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day, another season here. Welcome back to the 2026 GSL Season 2 Round of 12 Group B. I'm, of course, VIP with me, and joined by these amazing players, by people in chat as well, and, of course, by our lovely caster, State and Tasus, off in the background. Will be joining us for the interviews, of course. But welcome and all. Whew, it's great to be back here 2 days in a row. We're back here with GSL Season 2 so quickly, by the way. Again, the Season 1 finals were this weekend, and now we're already blazing away through the round of 12. Last night we featured Group A. Now we're here with Group B. Oh boy, we have 4 players ready for us, and once again we have a GSL format group. These top 2 players will advance on into the round of 8. The bottom 2 are eliminated from GSL. Hey. Here we go, as we do have a decent plethora of players available to us. We'll get into it here. We'll get into it as we can see our schedule. Again, we were live yesterday with Group A. We're live today with Group B. Next week is going to be Group A and Group B of the round of 8. And then we do have the semifinals and the grand finals thereafter. The first week of June. Oh boy, so again, we do have the season schedule ahead of us here, bearing in mind as well that tickets will soon be available. You can see them there available the 1st of June as well, so you can get your tickets if you happen to be local, if you happen to be in Korea at the time. You can take part and take place in the GSL Season 2 finals. True, you can be there. You can be there. Likewise, of course, crowdfunding is available as well. Bam, there it is. You can subscribe either on the Soup platform or over on Patreon. You can subscribe at patreon.com/GSL to be able to support and take part and help be a part of GSL and Korean StarCraft, and even just StarCraft in general, bearing in mind that this season of GSL is open to the international audience. True, to the international players, I should say. But again, you can support via Patreon, you can support via Soup, and we are close to our next goal. Bam, you can see the tick there across the first goal, of course. We have the GSL CK twice a month confirmed with $6,000 a month, with 10K a month on the support. Then we can, of course, confirm GSL Season 3. We're almost there. Last I checked, we were almost at 8K. Almost at 8K, which means we're so close to that $10,000 goal. We'll see if we can get there. We'll see if we can get there to be able to fund a 3rd season of GSL this year. Por favor, por favor. Let's hope we can get there. Regardless, I mean, we will at least have GSL CK ongoing throughout the course of the rest of the year. Hopefully we'll have another season. Bam, you can see there we are almost at $8,000 a month with the support via Patreon and Soup. And again, that next goal for GSL Season 3 is at 10K. It's at $10,000. Hopefully we can get there. Hopefully. As we're about to get into our day of StarCraft, again, we do have 5 best of 3s coming up ahead of us here. Oh boy, it's going to be a lot of StarCraft. Yesterday's broadcast was a little bit on the longer side, of course. We'll see. I mean, due to a lot of the TVZs that we did have, here we might have some TVZ action, but for the most part, there it is. We had both Cure and Shin advancing on in Group A in 1st and 2nd place, respectively. Meanwhile, we have Classic Solar, Zoun, and GuMiho here in Group B. Oh boy, 2 Protoss, 1 Zerg, 1 Terran. A nice race distribution, and we'll get there. Meanwhile, we already have Group A and Group B being seeded. Cure is alongside Clem and Hero, Shin alongside Maru and Rogue. Honestly, a pretty good group for Shin, not gonna lie. I mentioned earlier that Shin's weakest matchup is ZVP, and right now he's got purely Terran and Zerg in his group. Looking good for Shin. I'm sure he's content, and likewise I'm sure Cure's content as well, as he is renowned for his TVP and TVT prowess. But again, we're here to determine who will also advance on into these groups. 2nd place in Group B will advance on into Group A. 1st place in Group B will be advancing on into Group B. But here we go, we have our players. Let's go. We have our players ahead of us here. We have Classic, Solar, Zoun, and GuMiho. And again, GuMiho is a new face here in this season of GSL. GuMiho was not a part of GSL Season 1 this year, but now he is going to be showcasing his play for the first time this year in GSL Season 2. It's great to see him back. I will say that GuMiho is out of practice. GuMiho, he's the dark horse in this group. Definitely a player that has to prove himself once again, and we'll see if he can. Now we have our first player. This is going to be Classic, one of the best pro players in the world. Top 2 alongside Hero. You can see his recent performances, of course. Round of 4 in GSL Season 1 of 2025. First place in GSL Season 2 of 2025. Second place in EWC last year. And, of course, top 8 in GSL Season 1. Looking at his quote here, I got a haircut recently. I feel good and fresh. I would like to keep it that way. I mean, you can tell his hair. Oh, my God. It's so smooth, man. So smooth. New haircut, feeling fresh, feeling on point. Vamonos, baby, vamonos. Oh, but again, he's one of the favorites to go far in this event. I would say it was an upset that he actually got knocked out in the round of 8 last season. Like, that was a big upset here for Classic, and I'm sure he wants to go further this time. Meanwhile, we have his opponent. Oh, it is going to be a Solar, Kang Ming Su. His best performances in recent times, of course, second place at DreamHack Dallas 2025, round of 8 in GSL Season 2 of last year. We had top 4 in EWC, top 4 in Rongi Cup, and round of 12 in GSL Season 1. Last dinner, I had spicy chicken stew with cow intestines. Thank you for letting us know what you had last night. I appreciate it. I don't know if that has any meaning. It does. Like, I hope it was good. Hope it was good. Does that mean we're on fire today? Are we blazing, or are we hungry for more? Let us know. Let us know. Sol, of course, recently opening up his own Patreon to be able to support his endeavors as a pro StarCraft 2 player. True has been releasing guides and releasing some tutorials. Solar. And here we go. Here we have our top 2 players here. We have our vetoes already done. Game 1 is given 10,000 V. Game 2, White Rabbit. Game 3, Celestial Enclave. Oh, what were the vetoes? Wait, what? Solar, he does veto some of these larger maps in Title Citadel, Winter Madness, and Old Republic. I am surprised that Solar vetoed Old Republic and not Celestial Enclave. That is a little bit odd to me. Curious. Classic gets rid of some of the smaller maps. Ruby Rock favors aggression, Tourmaline favors aggression, and Mothership has that RNG factor. Is also difficult to maintain a high base count. So Classic's vetoes make sense, Solo's make sense for the most part, except for getting rid of Old Republic. I'm a little bit perplexed by that, but here we go. Spawning in the top left hand corner of 10,000 V, we do have a Classic for Virtus Pro. And in the bottom right hand corner, we have a Solar, our red Zerg player. Let's go. Let us go. We're jumping into our fresh series, into our fresh best of 3. Bearing in mind the winner of this series will advance on into the winners match. The loser is going to be knocked down to the elimination match. There is a safety net here for our players. It is a GSL group, GSL format. That is how it does unfold. As we're getting into our fresh best of 3. And welcome to 10,000 feet. Now, 10,000 feet does favor aggression somewhat. It's not as extreme as Tourmaline. It's not as extreme as Ruby Rock. It does have a very short rush distance by ground. That is true. But I would say it does have a much more defendable natural 3rd and 4th base. That's the difference here. Yes, short rush distance by ground, so aggression can be somewhat favored. But the defensive setup back at home is quite strong, so we often do get a lot of mid-game here on 10,000 feet. I would expect this. I mean, I say I would expect. Solo, notoriously, he does almost nothing but all-in in this matchup. Like, we see a lot of 2-base all-ins, 3-base all-ins, a lot of hyper-aggressive styles, low-tech options, staying on lair that much longer, rarely embracing hive-tech. That is how Solo traditionally does approach ZVP. We'll see that trend continues in this series as well. If so, that's also why I'm perplexed by the decision to get rid of Old Republic. I feel like that map does favor aggression more so than Celestial Enclave. I'm curious if he plans on mixing in Mutaplay, right? Mutaplay is another option that you have available to you on these larger maps. We have seen Mutaplay be successful on Celestial Enclave before, so maybe. Otherwise, there might be some cheeky all-ins planned in terms of knocking down those rocks and make use of the ninja, or making use of the pocket expansion. There are ways to make use of that. But now though, we're calming down, we're settling in, hatch a gas pool, standard opening here by Solar, likewise standard opening out of Classic as well. We have our initial standard openers. Link speed is on the way, pulls out of gas. Likewise, Stargate open out of Classic. Everything's looking normal. What we're expecting out of Classic is a Stargate opener into his own third base. Now, we have been seeing Classic go for some early blink heavy gateway styles into delayed tech. If you remember, he gave that build to Zoun, and Zoun used it to great effect last season in GSL. So I'm curious if we're going to be seeing that here as well. Classic has been mixing up his mid game a little bit more than in the past. For now, the opener is standard, but the follow-up is what we're really interested in. Follow-up. This Classic does threaten to dive. Initial Oracle's on the way. So far, everything's looking good. We do hide the pylon further back in the main base. Interesting. Curious if we'll use that to hide some tech. Yeah, my attention. As for now, it's going to be able to solo to minimize losses. To keep up with the Adept, to keep up with the Oracle, to minimize losses, and to potentially even catch out the Adept as well, and go for a counterattack. The first Zergling does waddle in, does get a full scout, confirming the Stargate, the Oracle as well. So some decent scouting here out of Solar. Guys behind this. Still just droning, claiming the third. Links they pick in, they spot the third base of Classic. Going for the forward third base. Oracle pokes in, gets one. Yeah, one Dragon goes down, but does take a lot of hull damage. Oof. That's a lot of hull damage being dealt. And we're looking for the Twilight Council timing. And so is Solar. Solar, he slips in. He's looking for that council, and it looks like we do throw it down very early. Okay, so an early council, and Solar, he will confirm. Very nice scout. Oh, okay, so it's an early council, but a hidden forge. The forge gets thrown down here on the right-hand side of the natural. So the forge tells us that there's not going to be Glaive Adepts, but Solar doesn't have that information. The fact that he saw no forge means that Glaives is going to be in the back of his mind. Not saying that's confirmed, of course. I mean, we can see that, again, it's a fake out, so we have hidden the forge. With this, we should be going into +1 and blink. +1 and charge is an option. That's definitely something that can be viable, especially on a smaller map like this. That's true. What's it going to be? +1 and charge. Yeah, there we go. +1 and charge. As you mentioned, on a smaller map like this, you can be more aggressive, and this is going to be for an earlier timing. Blink is ideal for gaining map control and building up into a longer, later game. Charge often means early timing attack out of Classic. So he's going to be the aggressor this game. I think we assumed it was, I assumed at least it was going to be the other way around. Classic showing off that he doesn't just have to play passive and defensive. He can, don't get me wrong, he can be that defensive player, that shield of fire, you know, taking the mantle home stats. He can be that kind of player, but doesn't have to be. Speaking of, we did recently hear from stats. That's true. That's giving us a tease of what's to come in his career. He confirmed that basically he had a silent retirement from pro gaming, which is true. But there's other things in the works for stats, so I'm looking forward to it. I hope that I look forward to it. I don't really know what it's going to be, and it's kind of weird what he's alluding to. Like it's weird to try to speculate as to what it could be. There's just so many possibilities, but looking forward to it. We love stats. He's a great guy. As from here, we have speed on the way, +1 range. Roaches are amassing as we speak for Solar, but the infestation bit tells us that we're taking up. So Solar's getting up to 4 bases. He's droning up behind this. Solar, he's flexing and showcasing some roaches. He's trying to force an overreaction. He does! Oh my god, a massive wall of batteries! Yeah, 2 batteries being thrown down. Immortal production, extra war pins. Classic, he's getting ready for an all-in that doesn't exist. So nice fake out here by Solar. Please out roaches. But again, this was worth it. This was worth it, and Classic, this will delay his 4th base. All these batteries, all these pylons, all these warpins could have been an expansion. There could have been a base. Revelation to the main. Oh, I thought it was going to be infestation for Faster Hive, but no, it's going to be for Swarm Host. This can actually work quite well in this map. 10,000 feet, because it's a reverse 3rd base. What I mean by reverse 3rd, the mineral line is facing the opponent. It's facing the center of the map. Because of that being a reverse expansion, it is more vulnerable to Swarm Host, to siege units in general. So Swarm Host, they can poke in, they can hit the center base, they can go for the main. Likewise, Storm Hosts are ideal against charge-based builds. For those who don't know, this is very common against charge. But despite that, it's still been a while since I've seen it. It's much more old school as a reaction. The reasoning for this is because Blink Stalkers do a great job at getting map control and shutting down the Nidus Worms and catching and punishing the Storm Hosts themselves. Charge loss less so. Oh no! Ooh, the high tempo exposed. He gets one, he gets one, he gets two. Very nice pickups here. Will force out the Archon, and Classic completely out of position. And with that Solar, he's going to clean up. Yep, he just completely cleans up, catching at every Immortal, catching at every army unit. And on top of that, we have the harass across the map. Yeah, so in the blink of an eye, Classic just falls apart. One bad fight, and that's it. I mean, what can he do? Nothing. He can do nothing. Battery's being focused down, going for the Nexus itself, and he will kill it. Yeah, there's no saving the Nexi. Bam, does go down. And in one fell swoop, I mean, that was the game-winning move. That was the game-winning move for Classic to push on creep and for him to be caught with his pants. I mean, you could not say a better example if that was just the pants being down. The pants were down, Bappy, completely. Pants were down, Solar overwhelms, catches the entire army, counterattacks across the map, and now Classic, he's limping along. He's limping. He's been crippled. And Solar's here to end it. He's here to end it. As we have the Nidus across the map outside of the main. Locust Wave is going to be moving in. Solar's maxed out. Ooh, Locust Wave being spent on the army. Not ideal. Yeah, not ideal. But does catch a couple of Stalkers. So there's at least somewhat of a trade. Roaches are rallying across. We have a couple of Colossi out, but there's very little support. There's very little buffer for them. They're coming in now. He wants it. He gets it. Gets one. One Colossus goes down. He wants the other, and he's going to get it as well. Yeah, there's no escaping the Roaches. There's just an overwhelming amount of Roaches here, and Solely snowballs out of control. He takes down the Colossi, takes down the Immortals, and with that, he has broken a Classic. We assumed that it was going to be Classic being the aggressor by going into charge, but no, Solar was able to juke him out, able to bait him out onto the map. GG gets called, and Solar takes game number 1. GG. Whew. Again, a solid game here out of Solar. Once again, as we mentioned, both players are just slowly and calmly just building up their own forces, building up their bases. But in the end, we saw that Classic, he pushed onto creep. Solar, he wasn't even expecting that, by the way. He was just going for his own harass at the same time. Noticed the army coming his way and did take full advantage. With that, was able to catch out the High Templar, catch out the Immortal. GG, well played. And now we're jumping the game. No one does. We're jumping to game 2. It is going to be on White Rabbit. White Rabbit is a larger map of the map pool, larger map, longer rushes to spike rounds. Aggressive maneuvers like this are going to be a little bit harder to pull off, but not impossible. So we'll see. We'll see what Solar has up his sleeve. I would imagine that Classic is going to go for a much more standard build this time. I would imagine. Meanwhile, my throat hasn't fully recovered yet, but we'll be okay. As spawning in the right-hand corner of White Rabbits, we have the South Green Protoss play for Virtus Pro. It is a Classic. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the red Zerg player. South Green Zerg, it is Solar. One day we'll introduce the players, probably one day in GSL. Well, to be fair, they actually do have player interest for the semis and finals, thankfully. I think a big reason for that is because the Observer follows the Korean casters. The English commentators, they don't enjoy doing intros for some reason. They have their own rationale for it. Specifically tasteless and artosis, and they've kind of pushed that into GSL and RSL as a result. It's kind of weird, but sure. Yeah, if it wouldn't be for the intros, then we wouldn't have the Hana do set. Wouldn't have the cheers from the fans. Cheering for their boys. Well, there we go. For now, standard opener, hatch gas pool. Likewise, we do have a classic going for standard opener as well. Again, we're not really expecting any kind of deviation early on. We're expecting another Stargate opener. Again, I would expect after game 1 that classic will go into blink this time and go for a bit of a safer build instead. I don't think he's going to be anywhere near as active and aggressive. Remember, one of the reasons why he was on the map was because he went for the charge base opener leading into the storm timing. He wanted to be aggressive, he just got caught out. This time we should be calming down. Or imagine classic should be calming down. Solo on the flip side typically should not go Swarm Host. Again, Swarm Host was a reaction to charge, and this game we shouldn't see charge, so we should not see Swarm Host. Fighting, true. Solo, what is that quote? Oh no. So now it is going to be that Stargate, as I mentioned, at a classic Stargate opener. I think we need the next quote now to follow Solo's meme and let us know what they had for dinner last night, or what they had for breakfast. As now we are going to be joining, saturating. The Oracle is going to be on the way. Again, nothing crazy. It's going to be on the Oracle to get across the map, find some economic damage, scout to confirm there's no hidden tech, no extra gases, no shenanigans ongoing, which again, there rarely are. But of course, confirmation is nice. We'll see if Classic goes to the linear third or the triangular third base, and then we'll see how we tech from there. We're going to be looking at the Twilight Council timing, and likewise the tech of choice from Solar, whether he goes Eva Chamber first, Lair first, or Ro12 first. As we have the linear third base at a classic. Does expand on the left hand side. Oh, Phoenix follow up. Okay, interesting. The real threat of the Phoenix here, as we do main hard over towards the third, is that the Phoenix can deny vision. Deny vision, deny scouting. There is that Maynard. Once again, early count. Actually, early. This is later than last game. This is a much more standard Twilight Council timing with the Forge. This is looking more like plus on a blink. If you're curious about the timings, the last game, the Twilight Council was thrown down just after the third base. Here, the third base was halfway done as the Twilight Council was thrown down. So this time, much later. Much later. Going for the earlier Robo. Overlord did actually scout. Oh, that should not have happened. And it actually is going to be charge again. Okay, we're going for a charge. This is a later charge than last game. Last game we did see Classic hit a time with Storm. We'll see if this time, based on the earlier Robo, it looks like an earlier Prism. It looks like an earlier charge push. I can't imagine we're going to be waiting for Storm this time. In fact, we might still go for the Temple Archives just for 2 Archons. So bearing in mind this is a different build. Meanwhile, Adepts, they get across the map. They do get into the mineral line. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 4 drones. 4 drones do go down, and Solar did not go for the Ro12. We went for the Hydrogen instead. And if you look at what we can see here, it is going to be that Temple Archive. So we are going for the Archon production. We may still go for Storm, actually, depending on the timing of the War Prism. But again, this is going to be hitting hard, and without Roaches to defend, it's going to be a much more difficult defense for Solar. Not impossible, but difficult. Ling Hydra does struggle against this. We may see, as he does spot some Zealots. Yeah, massive tell, he knows. Yeah, does spot Zealots warping in. Soul is now aware. We'll see if he goes for a Bailey Nest. Without it, again, it is going to be difficult. So far, losing 4 more drones. Oh, we'll pick up the Oracle, though. A nice catch out of Solar. It does catch the Oracle. Stays drop into the mineral line. Solar does react in time. Yep, and here comes Solar again. As I mentioned before, it is an earlier push. A big reason for this is the last game he moved out with 2 Immortals. This time 0 Immortals instead, just going straight for the Prism. And once again, High Templar are spotted. Solar, he sees everything. Despite that, he's still relying on purely Ling Hydra. I'll be honest, I'm still not convinced by Solar's defense or by his army composition. I can see a world where Classic just walks through it. Just breezes his way on through, but again, a lot of it will come down to the storms, for sure. It'll come down to the storms. Oh, as the second Oracle goes down. Yeah, massive pickup. Second Oracle falls. Solar's been messing up his Ling Hydra. Again, he's aware of a timing that's coming his way. He saw the Zealots. He saw the High Templar. So look at him workers at 60, so earlier. And he may even come in for a surround. Uh-oh. Yeah, might be able to catch out the army. His Hydras get spotted. Classy does commit in. And Solo, where are we pushing? He commits. Okay, he commits across the map. He doesn't turn around. Solo will lose his expansion. First storm on the ramp. There's what, 3 storms left? Hydras though, they're across the map, but they're running into Zealots. Yeah, they're running into Chargers. Oh my god, massive storms on the Hydras. The Hydras are trading poorly against the Zealots. Another storm. And Classic, he will clean this up. This is what we mentioned earlier. Ling Hydra crumbles against Charged Storm. You need some kind of buffer here, ideally Banelings. But Solar, he commits. He's all in. Solar's all in. He lost the base. He got workers early. Solar's completely all in. And does he force a cancel? He does. Oh, High Templar out of position. Yeah, Templar out of position. There's 1 storm grazing the army. We need more storms. But Solar's going to be caught out in the open. So I'm going to see Classic. Oh, the Ashes Pylon. Oh my god. The Pylon does survive. We coming from behind. Show us the storms. Show us the storms. Yeah, massive storms on the Hydras. And GG gets called. GG gets called. The all-in fails, and Classic takes game number 2, tying up the series 1-1. Whew. GG. And GG, well played. As we were trying to allude to the entire game, I was like, yo, Solar, he sees the Zealots, he sees the High Templar. I'm not convinced by Ling Hydra. This is looking kind of weird, and yeah, we see why. We're trying to emphasize that Ling Hydra just melts against Charged Storm, and as you saw there, the all-in just fell on its face. It was very interesting choice here from Solar. Bearing in mind that again, he had the choice to throw down a Baneling Nest to go into a Ling Bane heavy composition instead, which would have fared a lot better, but he chose to just go for the all-in. He chose to commit. He's like, you know what, I'm already here anyway. I've already got my Hydra dens, so I may as well just double down and commit and just send it. And in the end, he got completely shut down, losing his base, forced the all-in. GG. GG, Classic shuts Solar down, and now we're going to be loading into game numero 3. Game number 3 here, it all ends on Celestial Enclave. And this is the map where I was confused that Solar led through the veto process. So, convince me, Solar. What do you got? What do you have for us? Let's go. As in the bottom left-hand corner of Celestial Enclave, we have the South Green Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss of Virtus Pro. It is Classic. And spawning in the right-hand corner, we have the Red Zerg player. It is Solar. The caster himself, Solar. As a reminder for those who do not know, Solar, he did actually cast GSL the semis and the finals. Did end up casting. He was on the casting couch with Ryung, with the tuna. Let's go. As welcome to Celestial Enclave. Celestial Enclave is a very large map in the map pool. Very long rush distance by ground. Very defendable natural, defendable third, defendable fourth base. Again, turtling up and maxing out is easier on Celestial Enclave than on other maps in the map pool. And typically, Protoss play is a favorite. So that is why I was confused that Solo led this through the veto process, and I'm curious to see what he brings to the table here. I did mention that there are some builds that are viable, like Mutaplay, right? Going into a Hidden Spire, going to Mutas is more viable on this map. Likewise, there are certain all-ins that can break down the rocks. I don't know if you noticed, but there are rocks that lead into the natural base, and we have seen players like Solar knock down those rocks unscouted and commit to these big 3-base all-ins. Likewise, Drop Lord play, Nidus play, especially into the Pocket expansion. Like, these are ways to be aggressive on this map, but they're very niche. They're very niche, and I'm sure Classic is aware of them as well. So here we go. We'll have a look. We'll see what Solar brings to the table. As we're alluding to, our eyes are mainly on Solar here. But show us what you got. Likewise, Classic, it's going to be on him to potentially even cut corners. It is viable to do so. But now going for Stargate. And just opening up Stargate, going for the Oracle. So far, the Oracle control from Classic tonight has been a little bit lackluster. Has not been ideal. We've been killing a handful of drones and typically losing the Oracles as well. So hopefully Classic can tighten things up and lock in. Now again, it is that Stargate. First Oracle's on the way. There's no like Void Ray opener, for example, or Phoenix opener. We shall see. From Solar, I'm expecting... I mean, there are different variations of all-in. Like, there's a Ling Hydra all-in that you can go for, similar to the last game, actually. True, it would be similar to the last game, but... I mean, ideally, you do want to mix up your builds. You don't want to rely on the same build 2 games in a row. Money's on a Roach Horn into Spire. You've got Chambers there threatening to dive. Third base is being taken. Classic claiming his third. Oracles are moving out. Spores will be done in time. That is a much earlier Twilight Council this time. Much earlier compared to last game. Are we thinking Glaives? Phoenix once again out of Classic. Going for the Phoenix, trying to hunt down Overlords. Ling moves out to Scouts. Solo will get eyes on the third. And the Twilight Council's at the ramp. As Oracle so far, no major damage. Dives on the Queen and does bring it down. Okay, not bad. Queen does fall. Force tells us it should not be Glaives, either Charge or Blink. Do we go Charge again 3 games in a row? Okay, Blink. For the first time, Blink Stalkers. Let's go. But again, that was an early council. So it's going to be much earlier Blink aggression. Lings they catch one Adept. Roach Horn gets thrown down for Solar, playing it safe. I would say against Blink Stalkers, you can get away with Ling Hydra. So here, when it comes to the builds themselves, I do favor Classic so far. Oh, and do you see what I see? I see an all-in. We assumed it was going to be some kind of all-in here from Solar. Overlord Speed. Pneumatized Carapace is in production. You do not get Overlord Speed unless you plan on incorporating Drop Lord. So it's going to be a German Taxi, a Roach Queen all-in. It's going to be a big Roach Queen all-in, and now the pressure is on Classic to confirm this. Now, what's scary here is that because Classic went for early Blink, remember, it was a very early Twilight Council, very early Blink Stalkers, it means that Blink is going to be done in time to defend. Oh, no battery. Yeah, no battery, no Oracles, 3 Adepts go down, massive pickoffs. Lings, they confirm the Blink Stalkers. The all-in is coming, but Blink will be a factor here. It's being chronoed as we speak. Blink will finish up in time. It comes down to the control and to the defensive setup here. Remember, Classic still has not yet confirmed the all-in. Checks the main, confirms no lair. Checks the natural. And now he sees. He should be aware now because here comes the all-in. Drop alerts are coming. Yep, 4 batteries get thrown down. The Classic knows. Classic is aware of the all-in. He's getting ready back at home. Blink will finish. Finishing up in 2 seconds. Oh, does spend his blink already though. Oh no! Oh my god, massive vials. At the same time, batteries are finishing. Oracles and Queens being focused now. The Oracles, they survive. And once again, does blink away. Being a little bit cavalier with these blinks, which is a little bit concerning. Yeah, batteries are running out of energy. Stalkers are starting to go down. Oh, friendly fire on the Zerglings. And Classic is getting into the Ravagers. He's almost there. He blinks in. He wants them, and he gets 1. He gets 1, he gets 2, 3 Ravagers going down. Massive pickups. The Queens do fall, and Classic holds. As he mentioned, Blink finished early this game. It was early Twilight Counter, early Blink. That is ideal against these all-ins. And it was almost a build-loader win. Almost a build-loader win here in favor of Classic. Classic, he shuts down the all-in. Solo just now finishing up his lair. Now going for roach speed, Evo chamber upgrades, burrow, desperation here by Solo. You can see him shaking his head there on cams as well. It's not looking good. It's not looking good for Solar. As Classic is outscaling, +2 has begun. Charge as well. I'll say the best that Soul can hope for is a secondary all-in. As he's on 3 base saturation. Yep, there's another. Oh no, the Drop Lord gets caught. No. Drop Lord is caught out. No link drop. Yeah, 4th base is cancelled preemptively here as Soul is away. He cannot save it. Oof. And Solar is in trouble. As you can see, Solo, he has not made a drone in minutes. He's sticking with 66, now 65 drones. He's purely making Ling Roach Ravager, so Solo, he's getting ready for a second all-in, a second wave. And with that revelation, Classic is aware. He knows. Classic knows he's just getting ready back at home. He's waiting for Solo to come to him. Ideally, Solo wants Classic to fight out in the open. He wants Classic to push. If Classic pushes and Classic is exposed, he's vulnerable. Oof, that's a massive wall of cannons and shield batteries. Solo, he needs to make use of this army soon. We gotta make use of it. As here come the High Templar. A Fleet Beacon is on the way. Jesus. Behind this, we're getting ready for Sky Toss, getting ready for Tempest. Now, again, I don't think Classic should be here. Yeah, he sees the army. Classic, you should not be out here. What are you doing? Get out of here. Forcing out some storms. High Templar exposed. Massive pickup, losing 3 High Templar. Oof. And the best fight that Solo could hope for. As I mentioned, there was no reason for Classic to push out. Solo's all in. Solo, he has not droned in like 3 to 4 minutes. Unironically. Solo's giga all in. No need to push out. That did cost Classic 4 High Templar. He's warping in more. Does Storm. Not bad. Storm catching at the roaches. Queens are waddling in. Oh no, the Oracles. Get out of here. This is 1. Yeah, we're losing Oracle. Nice Storm. Once again, Storm on the Roach Ravager. Oh my god, the storms, they just keep landing. They punish the Roach Ravager. The Roach Ravager is tanky, but not that tanky. Oh. As 1, 2, 3 Templar get sniped. We need another storm on the left hand side. We need some more storms. Oh my goodness, we take the blast to the face. Late blinks, but there we go. The storms that make up for it. Massive storms on the army. And with that, Classic is holding. Oh my, it does still take some storms to the face, so a messy defense here from Classic, but he will still hold on. He cleans up the army. And once again, the all-in is failing. The all-in does fail. Classic has momentum. He has a massive army to work with. He can counterattack. Catching an Overlord. Supply blocking Solar. Oof. And if Classic had a War Prism, he could just keep pushing. And there is a prism. There's that prism. Just send it, Pappy. Just send. Believe. We can just push. He doesn't want to risk it. I mean, he already has the fleet beacon, so technically the correct thing to do here is just build up Tempest and just chill at home and just get further ahead. I would say that there's opportunities here for Classic to end the game early and to kill here and now, but he's playing it safe. He's playing it safe. From here, storms, they just keep zoning. And from here, Classic once again just collapsing in. Massive slow zone on the army, diving on the Roach Ravager. Remember, the Super's lying to you. Solar, he has inflated supply because of the Roach Ravager, so his army is actually smaller than what it looked like. And GG gets called. The all-ins fail, and Classic, he will claim the series 2-1, advancing on into the winners match. GG. Whew. And GG, well played, Classic. He will advance on. Again, oh, that God. Where are we? Here we are. And again, Solar, I'll stand by what I said at the beginning of this series when we saw the vetoes. I was like, yo, Celestial Enclave? I mean, this is a very hard map to all in on. Very, very difficult map. As I mentioned before, your bases are very secure. Your natural, your third, your pocket expansion as well. There's also very limited attack paths. Like, you can only push in between the natural and third base. Like, where else are you going to be attacking from? Where else can you really commit? So limited attack paths, longer rush distance by ground, defendable bases, bold choice for Solar to still attempt all in, and he got scattered, got shut down completely time and time again. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're going to be going on a short break. When we come back, we'll have GuMiho versus Zoun. See you soon after the break.
2, 3타를 우승을 하고 그 다음 시즌에는 준우승, 왕의 귀환, 또 신의 귀환이 될
아마추어에서 이제 ASL 리거가 된 생애 최초의 결승전체 저구왕조의 트로피를 이어받는
현 시점 가장 창의적이고 가장 공격적이고 가장 유연한 플레이를 보여주는
최고의 승률을 자랑하고 있는 진짜가 돌아왔어요.
생각에 딜레이가 없는 것 같이 움직여요.
압도적입니다. 5회 우승은 꿈이 아닌 것 같은 그런.
지금은 저의 세대입니다. 영호 형이 저한테 지는 그림이 그려져요.
원래 제자리였기 때문에 가져올 수 있도록 하겠습니다.
GSL Season 2.
And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the 2026 GSL Season 2 Round of 12 Group B. We have returned with the second matchup of the broadcast. We just set up with Classic versus Solar. Classic comes out on top 2-1 over Solar to advance on to the winners match. Meanwhile, we're here to determine who will face off against Classic in that second round. Up next is going to be Zoun versus GuMiho, a PvT. And again, it's great to see GuMiho after so long. It's been a while since I've casted GuMiho, not gonna lie. Again, GuMiho has been very inactive. He has silently retired. We'll talk a little bit about him though as we step into Zoun. Here we go. Zoun, of course, made it to the round of 8 last season of GSL. Had a very strong showing, all things considered. He was coached by Classic, and now we have our quote here: "I memorized all the build order, but I can't macro my life." Oh no! Oh no! He can't macro. I mean, can't macro. Oh no! Not like Esther Zoun. Hopefully he can overcome that. Hopefully he can get some macro in his life soon, as of course we gotta lock in here and now as we have our initial matchup. Oh boy. So again, we'll see. I mean, again, Zoun, he had a really good showing last season, making it to the round of 8. Very good showing, and we'll see if we can replicate that. Meanwhile, again, GuMiho, he is a newcomer to this year of GSL. GuMiho failed to qualify last season, and GuMiho, he has been very inactive in tournaments. As we have our quote here, I'm looking for a Terran tutor who can help my SC2 rehab. This is kind of what we're referring to here, is that he basically retired. Like that's why you can see barely any results as well in his career last year. Top 16 Dallas, round of 4 GSL season 1, round of 4 GSL season 2. I mean, good placements for GSL, not gonna lie, but GuMiho doesn't really play in many events at all. So GuMiho, he basically stepped away. I believe he's playing StarCraft part-time nowadays. But hey, he made it to GSL, so I'm excited to see how well he performs. I want to see him strive even further, and again, I'm just happy to see him in general here. Great to see some GuMiho. It's been too long. It's been too long. Here we go. We have our first series: Winter Madness into into White Rabbit into Tourmaline. Interesting. GuMiho gets rid of Old Republic, Celestial, and Taito. I feel like he wouldn't. I'm curious if he's going to play mech, actually. I'm curious what the plan is. What the plan is, as he did get rid of some of the larger maps in the map pool, Zoun got rid of some of the smaller maps instead. These vetoes do make sense, and we'll see how our players will approach each game here. GuMiho, we haven't seen him in a while, and I'm curious to see, again, how he approaches StarCraft nowadays. Show us what you got. As spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have for Onside Gaming, the South Korean Protoss, it is Zoun. And bottom right, we do have GuMiho, our Korean Terran. You see our head-to-head here. Offline, 3-5 in favor of GuMiho. Online, 63-27 in favor of Zoun. But again, that is their historical kind of record against each other. And I would emphasize that, again, GuMiho has been out of practice out of late. So we do lean towards Zoun here. Like GuMiho, he is the underdog in this group. But I want to see him to do well. I want to see him do well. I want to see him excel. I want to see some GuMiho action here. But again, the pressure's on GuMiho. Show us what you've been cooking since you've been gone. Totally don't have that "Since You've Been Gone" song going in my head right now after I said that. It's fine. Can breathe for the first time. As for now, we do have GuMiho going for a fake proxy Rax here. His Rax hidden behind his main base. So cheeky start here by GuMiho. He was hoping to force an overreaction, but alas, Zoun does double check the main and does confirm that everything's as it should be. This will delay the wall off here from GuMiho. It's going to be a little bit more awkward, but regardless, we so far still have a standard build. Rax expands, single gas opener, economic starts out of GuMiho. As he's setting up the low ground CC, Zoun is looking to try and delay. Does move in position and will delay. Not bad. We're at 450, 460, 460 minerals here before being thrown down, so a nice little delay here on GuMiho's command center. Get a nice delay. Zoun moves in once again. Oh. Yeah, did go Zealot first, actually. Okay, sorry, I'm a little bit surprised by that. So Zealot first into Adepts. Aggression will continue. This might be due to the fact that the wall off was going to be a little bit more delayed here, but Zoun is being aggressive and he is spotted by GuMiho. Zoun is following up with his Twilight Council opener. Twilight Council most likely into Blink. And this early game aggression also means that GuMiho does not get across the map to scouts. He is currently busy. He's busy with the early game harass. Catching out. Ooh, the CC does barely finish in time. Whew, again, clutch moves there by GuMiho. Zealot does swipe down the Marine. As GuMiho does catch out the Adepts. Adept goes down. Nice kiting here against the Zealot. Second Adept has arrived. And Zoun, he is at least delaying some mining here on the low ground. GuMiho going for a Marauder response. Interesting. Yeah, as the Marauder takes his time coming down to the low ground. So still a bit of an awkward defense here by GuMiho, but he shouldn't lose much. That's down to shade away. Behind this, two more gates in production. That's going to be 3-gate blink. So 3-gate blink out of Zoun. So far, at least, we'll see if he throws out another gateway. We'll see if he goes for his Robo. Does he go for the faster expansion, or does he double down? And there it is, Robo. So far, a bit of a safer, more committed build here by Zoun. Safer, more committed. Chops into the mineral line. Here threads the mineral line. It's a really weird drop as well. 3 Marauders. it's a little bit random. He gets a pylon at least. He gets something. Ooh, as Reaper falls in the mineral line, does not get a kill. Does not get a probe. Barely not so far. Zoun is defending well. GuMiho's build has been quirky, but this also does eat into his own gas income as well, investing into 3 Marauders. Now switching into a 2-1-1 variation, sorry, a 3-1-1 variation. Stim is on the way. GuMiho does at least preserve all the Marauders, and he still continues Marauder production. Okay, we're committing here. We're committing to a much earlier push here with Stim, with a heavy Marauder counts. Against Protoss, this can work quite well. I can see the potential with this. I can see it. Yeah. Let's give me. Ooh. Yeah, let's give me here. Does bleed out his prism. Sorry, his medevac, I should say. Does force a recall. Again, a heavy Marauder count. And I believe GuMiho should be committing here. We'll see if he gets a 3rd CC. Like, in my mind, building up the Marauder count this quickly, this heavily, is for good reason. Here comes the main push. GuMiho does expand behind it. again, there's a lot dedicated here. There's a lot dedicated. Just in one forward. Chasing down the army. Can the tanks, can they get within range? Again, I mean, with all these marauders, Zoun can't engage actually. He cannot push in. Yeah, the blinks will be punished so hard. Oh, tanks exposed. Oh no, there's an opening. Yeah, GuMiho, he does leave an opening there. The tank goes down. He will kill the expansion, but was it worth it? Because he will lose everything. Yeah, it does take down the base. He's gonna get the hell out of here. And he cannot get out. He will lose the entire army, as you mentioned. There was no escaping this. And now that will trigger a counterattack. On the one hand, sure, he killed the expansion, but again, he lost the tank. He lost all the marauders that he had built up over time. I'm not entirely convinced that was worth it. We'll see if he can survive the counterattack. Third is denied. Have force a lift. That's at least that. Bunker's not yet done. We break through the mineral line. Oh, nice hold position micro. Very nice. The Colossi have arrived. And again, 0 tanks. There are at least 2 Vikings. Oh, that's fake 2. That's still barely 2 here. But so far, nice target firing at the Zoun. Oof, massive swipes in the Marines. Boys are being pulled, and down go both Vikings. Yeah, both Vikings fall. Nice kiting here by Zoun. Doesn't overextend. Kites well. Tank on the high ground. Gets targeted immediately. Jesus. Oh my god, the force field as well. Yeah, zoning back the army, and with that, Zoun has done it. He has broken GuMiho. You can see him shaking his head. 19 SCV kills. And Zani snowball out of control. And as he mentioned, GuMiho in the end, pushing across the map and killing that third base was not worth it. To lose his tank, to overcommit. It triggered this moment here where Zoun has crippled the economy. We see GuMiho down to 28 SCVs, barely an economy. And that third base is not even an orbital, so no mules. Yeah, there's no extra mules. It's delayed economy here, delayed income. And GG. Yeah, GG gets called. Technically not even a final fight, but I mean, GuMiho was dead in the water. Like that was game. GG, well played. Zoun takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. I do want to say that GuMiho's build had, I want to say it had potential, right? Like I was looking at it, I was like, yo, we're building up a lot of marauders here. But if you remember, my assumption was that GuMiho was going to go for a 2-base all-in. Right? I assumed that he was going to pull the boys and just commit to a 2-base all-in, and I think that would have worked out so much better there. Remember, when GuMiho first got across the map, Zoun could not touch the army. Like Zoun, he had to back off. It was only after GuMiho split his army and abandoned the tank that Zoun could move in. Then Zoun could move in and get on top of the tank, and then he had his Colossus come in just in time as well to just deal with the main army. I do believe that if he had pulled the boys, there was a greater chance of GuMiho breaking the natural instead. Ignore the third base, push into the natural and break on through. Yes, the Colossus would have helped out, but that's what the SCVs are for, to tank the Colossus shots and to potentially stim forward onto the Colossus with all his marauders. So again, that was my assumption. Instead, GuMiho went for a more macro response, getting a third base and going for the third expansion across the map instead, killing the third expansion, I do mean. In the end, it wasn't worth it. Was not worth it. And here we go, we're loading into game number 2 and spawning in the top right hand corner of White Rabbits. We have the South Green Protoss, so onside it is Zoun. And spawning in the left hand corner, we have the South Green Terran player, it is GuMiho. GuMiho. Let's go. Let us go as we are getting to game number 2 here. Zoun is up 1-0, but welcome to White Rabbit. White Rabbit is likewise another one of these larger maps. Larger map, longer rush distance by ground. The bases are more spread out, and once again, I'm curious to see how GuMiho will approach this. It was quirky, it was unorthodox for GuMiho to go into such a heavy marauder commitment last game. This time, once again, Rax next to the Gas Geyser. Just like last game, hides the first Rax. And is found. Is going to be found. And again, eyes are on GuMiho. Does he go? I mean, so far one gas, right? Single gas opener, so GuMiho's going for a rack expand into a faster economy, into a greater natural base. From here, we'll see if he goes into a second racks, into an early tech lab, into early marauder production. Again, I would expect something different here. GuMiho does not shy away from mech. Mech is definitely an option here in this matchup. High ground CC, interesting. A safer expansion here. He'll have a delayed economy. I would say this is worth it because Zoun did invest into a Zealot. This time the Zealot should not find anywhere near as much damage. It shouldn't. As there's that factory follow-up. There's no like 3-rack setup or a 2-1-1. Not yet. Yeah, as Reaper does move out. Just keeping eyes here on eyes on Zoun, spawning the expansion. Behind this, we have the 1-1-1 factory into starport from GuMiho. Interesting. Getting into zone 1-1-1. We have a reacted Hellions. This can lead into a reacted Hellion drop. True. We'll see if he makes another set of Hellions after the first two. The answer is no. He's going 2 Hellion into Widowmine. Okay. So going for the Widowmine drop instead. A little bit more committed here with the reactor. So once again, this is a unique build here from GuMiho. It's a little bit more unique. A little bit more obscure. You often don't get the tech lab that early on the factory. This tells me that we can go up to 4 Widowmines, actually. Yeah, he's committing. This is very old school. Oh no, okay. Add-on swap. So 2 Widowmines into the add-on swap instead. I'm just very interested here in the build here from GuMiho. Behind this 3-gate blink to the Robo, same build that is down 2 games in a row, very safe build. And we'll see what GuMiho can get done. He's moving out. So moving out across the map. Here comes a drop. Zoun will not have blink in time to defend. May have it towards the tail end to punish the medevac itself. Potentially. As that medevac does him in. It does boost forward. Diving into the natural. Zoun does react in time. He pulls away. Jesus. They're losing 1 probe. Just the one. Medevac does take a lot of hits. Oh. As both Widowmines go down, only 1 probe for 2 Widowmines. Oh, that was a cleaner defense here by Zoun. A rougher aggression for GuMiho. Hallucination goes in, confirms the second rack, so confirms no mech. Important scout there for Zoun. As this time Zoun has no marauders, right? Last game we did take note of the fact that that GuMiho was building up a really early marauder count. That's not the case here. This time we have a heavier marine count into tanks. Oof. As the medevac does not get away. He doesn't get away. Stim has begun for GuMiho, so earlier stim. 3rd rack's being thrown down as well. And we'll see how committed GuMiho is going to be. As I believe he's moving out the Raven. He is moving out. Can't hit the 3rd. Third base. Storm is on the way as well, so Zoun just building up. He's just chilling, building up with his 3rd base into the mid game. And really eyes are on GuMiho to see if he commits, and he doesn't. Interesting. So he keeps the main army back at home and he's going for a double drop. So GuMiho going for a split push. The main army gets spotted by the observer, and we do pick up one Hellion. Zoun is distracted. Does react in time back at home. GuMiho's unloading. He does unload. GuMiho commits into the third base, and Zoun is out of position completely. Oh my god, he gets caught. Yeah, losing one Stalker already. Zoun has to pull away, and this third base may go down. Do we have Storm ready? We do. Storm is done in 10 seconds. High Templar, they're enough to force GuMiho back. GuMiho does not risk it, and Zoun defends. Wow, okay. Zoun does defend. Oh. Stalkers, they pivot away. Oh, the Hydra exposed. Yeah, Templar exposed, using one Templar. The Storms are landing. Does land another. Zoning back the Bio Army. Tanks are exposed, and with that, Zoun holds. Wow, Zoun completely shuts us down. Oh my god, the Storms were brutal. And GG gets called. GuMiho gets shut down, and Zoun, he will claim the series 2-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Yo, GuMiho shaking it up. Let's go. He's got them protein shakes. I didn't get to say it, but GuMiho, he's looking good. He's looking good. He's looking in form, looking in shape. But GG, well played with that Zoun. He shuts down the aggression from GuMiho both games in a row. GuMiho technically wasn't all in. He did have his third CC behind it, but he was all in the sense that he lost everything in the assault. Both games. Like, he had everything across him, everything committed, but he got shut down. Game 1, it was a quirkier build with a heavy Marauder counter early on, and I'll say it again. Game 1 could have gone GuMiho's way if he had committed to the all-in. If we just like, forget about the third CC, that was never going to get up and running. We just commit, Pappy. Just send it, pull the boys. There was a lot of potential in Game 1. Here in Game 2, I mean, it was it hit later, and Zoun was ready for it with Storm. GG. With that, we're going to be going on a short break. When we come back, we'll have our next series. We'll have Zoun versus Classic in a PvP. See you soon.
3타를 우승을 하고 그 다음 시즌에는 준우승, 왕의 귀환, 또 신의 귀환이 될.
아마추어에서 이제 ASL 리거가 된 생애 최초 결승전체 저구왕조의 트로피를 이어받는
현 시점 가장 창의적이고 가장 공격적이고 가장 유연한 플레이를 보여주는
최고의 승률을 자랑하고 있는 진짜가 돌아왔어요.
생각에 딜레이가 없는 것 같이 움직여요.
압도적입니다. 5회 우승은 꿈이 아닌 것 같은 그런.
지금은 저의 세대입니다. 영호 형이 저한테 지는 그림이 그려져요.
원래 제 자리였기 때문에 가져올 수 있도록 하겠습니다.
GSL Season 2.
And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the second half of the broadcast. We're halfway through here, halfway through the group. We just wrapped up with our first two matches. We just wrapped up with Classic versus Solar and Zoun versus GuMiho. And of course, before I get ahead of myself, welcome back to the 2026 GSL Season 2 Ro12 Group B. We have our winners match and elimination match confirmed. Up next is going to be Classic versus Zoun in a PvP to determine which is going to be the first player to advance on into the round of 8 out of this group. Meanwhile, that'll be followed by Solar versus GuMiho to determine the first player that's going to be eliminated from the group itself. Let's go. Let us go. We have our players. We have our matchups. Classic. He's locked in, Pappy. It's the Master versus the Apprentice. Oh my god. For those that maybe missed out on last season, Zoun did actually go to Classic for advice when it comes to preparing for builds and preparing for his group, and it worked. It did work quite well. So again, Zoun, he does have his oppa, his young, I should say area. His young is up against him, of course, and Classic is a beast in terms of PvP. Classic very regularly does bring down players like Max Pax, Hero as well. Classic has some of the best PvP in the world, and he's a titan to bring down. So Classic coming in as a heavy favorite. We'll see if Zoun can stop him. We have our vetoes: Game 1, Winter Madness; Game 2, 10,000 feet; Game 3, Old Republic. I would say that in PvP, the veto process doesn't really matter as much. What matters the most is whether or not a map that has a ramp coming into the natural makes it through the veto process. Outside of that, though, I mean, it's all on the table. Anything is on the table here, so we could see hyper aggression. We're expecting hyper aggression, cheese, proxies, all-ins. Let's go. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the South Korean Protoss, the blue Protoss. For Ro12 Pro, it is Classic. And in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player for onside. It is Zoun. Let's go. Let us go. We have our head-to-head here. Offline Classic 4-1, online Classic 41-22. That is the historical record, of course. But even in recent times, the Classic, he does have the heavy lead over Zoun. He is again one of the best Protoss players in the world, and Zoun often does go to him for some advice, for some help, for some practice, for some builds. Oh boy, but we have seen Zoun cause upsets before. I still remember infamously last year that Zoun did take down Hero in GSL with a cannon rush in PvP. So, hey, if you can take down Hero in PvP, you can take down Classic as well. We'll see. We'll see what he does have up his sleeve. If you recall infamously in the GSL CK Spotlight, the teammates of Zoun were complaining that his PvP was just too bad. Like, his PvP is awful, and Zoun was being picked on quite a bit as maybe like a weaker link in GSL CK. So feel Zoun, man. Feel Zoun, man. But we've had a lot of fun with GSL CK this year. A lot of fun. As we do see Classic veering off towards the right hand side with his probe, with his pylon. Classic will hide one pylon, and Zoun will confirm that. So Zoun, he now knows that a pylon is out on the map. Whether it's real or fake, whether it's committed or not, Zoun has to confirm. We can see that the pylon is far enough away that this will not be a one base all in. It will not be a proxy robo. It may be a Stargate, so we can still proxy and be aggressive in some way. Otherwise, it's going to be a fake out. Either Stargate, Twilight Council, or fake out. What's it going to be? The probe staying in position tells us the Classic intends to commit. Wait for the Cybercore to finish, and it now does finish. There it is. Stargate has been committed. So he throws down the Stargate, going for the Proxy Oracle. This is designed for economic damage, and ideally will force Zoun to overreact. That is the hope. As I hope that is the dream. And we'll see if he does. Zoun already sending out a second probe to scout. So he's got one worker on the left, another worker on the right. Going for his own defensive Stargate. So Stargate opener for both players in different ways. And if Zoun can figure out what's going on, he can open up Phoenix first. True. Stargate is almost complete for Classic. Zoun does spot the probe. You can see on the minimap, Zoun, he's getting close. He's getting, oh, he's so close. Keep going, Zoun, no. Yes, Classic is moving out with the Adepts. And it looks like Zoun, the probe is activated. He's going in. Oh, he's in. Zoun, he confirms, he comes in, he does get eyes on the Stargate. He knows what's going on, he's aware of the proxy. And does he react to the Phoenix? He does. Yeah, instant Phoenix, batteries are on the way as well. Zoun is aware of what's coming his way, and he's getting ready for it. It's a big scout for Zoun. As here comes our Phoenix, here comes a full wall, here comes a battery, Stalker's in position. Zoun taking the Oracle very seriously. And with that, the Phoenix will at least force a recall. At most, we'll get a kill. As overall, this is a better start for Zoun. Zoun is the first to expand, and Zoun has a very high chance of ensuring he is dealt no damage. As now you have two Oracles, they can one-shot probes, and at this point in Classic, he has to commit. Like, he's going to just send it. Stalker's in position. Classic expands himself. It's a later expansion. Again, Classic is behind. Zoun is already up in probes. Adepts stay threaten to shape. He commits. Oh, he gets in. Yeah, Adepts they get into the mineral line, getting one, getting two probes. The Phoenixes are revealed, and Classic, upon seeing the Phoenixes, will not commit. So big scout for Classic. Now he knows what's going on. Remember, up until this point, he had no idea there was a Stargate. So Classic has to get the hell out of here, and Zoun does give chase. Oh, he finds him. Yeah, he does find him. Gets one, gets both. Yeah, he should get both here. Classic, he attempts to get away. These are heavy losses for Classic, a very rough start. Remember, Classic's already behind economically. He's behind economically. And the Proxy Target was not worth it. Oof. Heavy losses for Classic. Yeah, you can see him shaking his head on cams. He's not looking good. he's not happy. It's like, ay, ay, ay. And Zoun, can he pull this off? Can he do it? Sphinx as they pick in. Catch that two probes. Zoun throwing down further tech. I will say that because of the commitment to Phoenixes, Zoun his twilight counts was delayed, so he has a later blink timing compared to Classic. To make up for that, he of course has immortal production underway, so he's building up the immortal counts. The twilight council can lead into glaives instead of blink. Yep, there we go. Glaives are on the way. It's going to be an all-in. This is very common here. Basically, Zoun knows he has momentum and he wants to try to pass that advantage. It's going to be up to Classic to try to nibble away at the army and to try to find some kind of damage and to slow Zoun down. But honestly, Zoun is miles ahead. Like Zoun, he's looking very in form and very on point. And Classic takes a third base, a desperation move here by Classic. Little does he know that Zoun, he's committing on two bases. The third is not going to help. It's not going to help here. If Zoun was playing standard and getting his own third base, then sure, but again, Zoun, he's doubling down. There is a third on the way for Zoun, but again, he's committed here with a much more aggressive build. The army's amassing. Army is amassing. Here we're still building up. Glave's also moving classic, but again, Zoun should hit first. And waiting for that moment. And here he comes. I believe we're waiting for a War Prism, though. I don't think we have one. Could be mistaken. Okay, there is one. Okay, never mind. Prism is out. Zoun commits. As I mentioned before, Classic was going for a faster third base to try to recover in this game, but Zoun, he is very aggressive here. Upgrades are done. And Zoun is hit to end the game. He's hit to end it. We'll lose on Phoenix. We'll lose one, but he does catch 2 Stalkers. Ay, ay, ay. A massive pickup. GG gets called. The writing was on the wall. No final fight here as Classic was far behind and Zoun takes a lead. GG. GG, well played. Zoun will take a lead. Again, Classic was playing from behind from the beginning of that game, losing both Oracles, behind when it came to the national expansion, behind in workers, down in tech. Like, it was a disastrous start there for Classic. I would say a build order win for Zoun. Yeah, build order win there with that Zoun he overwhelms. And now Zoun is 1 game away from advancing on into the next round. Uno mas, 1 more game here. And we'll see what the openers come down to. Once again, PvP is very opener reliant, just because it's very common to have that rock, paper, scissors of proxy Robo, proxy Stargate, of fake proxy, faster Nexus. Like, there's a lot of different builds, and they do kind of compare differently to each other. Again, Zoun going for the defensive Stargate and scouting, more importantly, the proxy of Classic, secured him the win. And did secure him the win. And with that, we're now loading into 10,000 feet. A much smaller map. Smaller map, but more aggression is favored here. Show us what you got. Brah. Brah. And spawning in the bottom hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the blue Protoss player for Virtus Pro. It is Classic. And in the top left hand corner, we have Onside Gaming. It is Zoun. God damn, they just they gave Zoun like 2 seconds. Oh my god. Like, bam, there he is. Who cares? That's a observer, calm down and give him some time. Let us appreciate. Again, Zoun, who's very often underconfident and very often doesn't think too highly of himself, but again, he's been excelling recently. Like, he's doing well for himself. His quote, if you remember, was that he knows build orders, but he can't macro. But I mean, the builds, they won him the last game. And this time, do we commit to another proxy? Is it going to be Zoun's turn to proxy instead? Is it Zoun's turn? I see some question marks in the chat. If that's a question mark in regard to the end of that last game, again, it was like a build order win. Like, Classic was playing from behind the entire game. It was very, very rough. Classic's way to recover in that game was to get a third base, if you recall, and as we were trying to emphasize, Classic was gambling that Zoun was getting to blink into a standard mid game. We saw that Zoun was basically committing on 2 bases. Got a third base, but like, was hyper aggressive. Classic was hoping for a more passive, a more macro style out of Zoun. Meanwhile, Classic, once again, proxy pylon. This pylon is more in position for a proxy Robo into a 1 base all-in. So Classic, he may just commit and double down here and now. We're expecting a Robo this time, as it is closer by ground. Cybercore is almost done. We're waiting for the Cybercore. And there it is, proxy Robo, 1 base all-in. So Classic is going for the all-in. Zoun is going to be on him to confirm what exactly is happening. Zoun is aware that a pylon is missing, and Zoun is saying, oh, he's so close. He's so close, and he's hugging the edge of the map. Instead, the proxy's in the center, so Zoun, he barely will miss it. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, what do we go for? Does Zoun go for a defensive Robo blindly? He confirmed. No shot. He confirms. Zoun, he sees everything, papi. Ay, ay, ay. Zoun is fully aware. He's going for a defensive Stargate. Interesting choice here by Zoun. The Stargate does allow for Phoenixes and Void Rays, but I feel like the standard response here is defensive Robo. I'm a little bit shocked here that Zoun's not going for his own defensive Robo itself. I'm not too convinced. Nice use of the tall grass. Very nice use. Nibbling away at the pylon. The pylon is getting low, taking hull damage. More Stalkers going to be rallying. But that robot will stay powered. The Immortal will pop out, and the All-In will still hit. So Phoenixes are going to be ideal against the Prism. Like Phoenixes, they can zone away the Prism. They can, of course, command center. They can CC the Immortal. That does not mean command center. That means crowd control. It's been a long day. I'm a little bit tired. Oh no. The words are mixing together. But again, lack of defensive robo is a bold move here by Zoun. Can he get away with it? Can he hold? Can he hold on? So it all comes down to the engage. It all comes down to the use of these spellcasters, or I say spellcasters to the Phoenixes. Can we lift, Pappy? Can we lift? No, este Roxas in the chat. Bienvenidos, bienvenidos. Arriving more than halfway through the broadcast, but it's fine. It's fine. I mean, compared to last night, these have been shorter games, to be fair. They've been much shorter. That's classic. He does start to push. Zoun going for the counterattack instead. He's crazy. Let's go for the base raid. And who recalls? Yeah, who blinks first? Army gets in. No wall up. Zoun does dive into the main. At the same time, we have a force back at home, and this will delay, but the Prism allows him to just juggle over the ramp, over the wall. Yeah, boys are being pulled. Zoun, he can always recall. He's trying to hold the line. Another force field. And here comes the wall. Yeah, here comes the army. Juggles over the wall. Where's that recall? We need it soon. We have 2 batteries. We have 2 batteries. And there's a recall back home, but is it going to be good enough here? Does he have enough to defend? Nice lift. Very nice lift. The Astro's Pylon goes down. Depowers everything, but the Immortal does fall. And we're making a stand. We're making a stand here, and Zoun, he's holding. He's holding, Pappy, and with that, is he going to 2-0? Is he going to come out first in this group? No shot. Takes down the Prism. No more micro, no more control, and Zoun, he just dominates this fight. Again, both game 1 and game 2. What did win Zoun these games? The scouting. Oh, let's go. The emotions they spill out. GG. He was so stoic when it came to the previous games. But he refused to show any emotion, but there it is. Oh my god. Beaming, Pappy. GG. GG, well played. Zoun will claim the 2-0 here, and Zoun, he will advance on into the next round. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Zoun, who will claim the series. Again, classic. He might be one of the best Protoss players in the world. He might be top 2 alongside Hero, but PvP is still a big gamba. And both game 1 and game 2, what happened? Zoun scouted. Zoun, he saw the Stargate in game 1. He saw the Robo in game 2. He was able to react, respond in kind, and shut Classic down. Again, it all came down to the scouting for Zoun, and he scouted it beautifully in both games. At no point was he ever in the dark as to what was happening, and he ever had to gamble as to what build he was going to go for. Was able to scout, shut down Classic. GG. GG, well played with that. Zoun, he will be the first player to make it through, and I believe we have a winner's interview.
All right, Jean, well, congratulations on your victory. First place here in Group B. Now, I want to ask you, it feels like in 2025, you were looking so good. Like one of the best Protoss players in the world. You were winning incredible series. It's been kind of quiet for you since then, but your performance today was just spectacular. You didn't even drop a map. Do you feel like you're catching back that form from last year?
I like this. You know what?
일단 박한 선수
1등
진출 축하드리고요.
We've been very critical of State and his questions, Tasteless as well. I like this. This is like the first good question here that we've had from State. I like it. I like it. It's good. It's introspective. It gives Zoun the floor to be able to express himself. Good question.
요즘 퍼포먼스에 대해서 좀 어떻게 평가하는지 궁금합니다.
일단
The best question so far.
일단 도호 형을 이겨서 되게 굉장히 기쁘고 오늘 아침에 일어나면서 좀 컨디션이
I can't wait for Tasteless to be like, how far do you think you'll go this season?
이제 질 거라는 생각은 안
Tasteless.
했지만 제가
I'd like another
도움을
introspective question like this one,
많이 줬기
please.
때문에
One day.
불안한 면도 있었지만 오늘 결과가 이렇게 나타나서 좋았고 작년에 실력은 비슷하다고 생각을 하는데 이게 좀 EWC가 없다 보니까 좀 꺾인 게 좀 컸지 않았나 싶습니다.
Yeah, I mean, my overall form was actually good, but I had confidence. But that being said, I actually didn't win that much against Classic before. So yeah, that was the only point I had the anxiety. But yeah, I think I managed it well. And overall, performance-wise, I think I'm kind of similar with the last year, but the only minus factor is the demotivation with lack of EWC. So I think that was the deciding factor.
What are your expectations going into the next group, and how far do you think you can get in this season of GSL?
이제 8강에 또
Yo, Tasteless, he's such a clown. He is like, yo,
어떤 모습을 좀
how-
기대하실 수 있을지.
how long is it going to take for the production team to like realize that I literally copy paste the same
저번
question
시즌에는
every single interview,
이제
even when
8강에서
State asks something
막혔는데
similar. He's
제가
just
못해서 막혔다고 생각을 하거든요.
God damn
그래서
it.
이번에는 좀 실수를 안 하고
He's like, how long can I get away with this? How is
준비해서 잘 나와서 8강 뚫도록 하겠습니다. 그리고 오늘 도호 형을 이긴 1등 공신이 있는데 이기게 해준
I'm not going to research. I'm not
트리거
going to research the
선수가
players. I'm going to ask them
많이
anything
알려줘가지고
meaningful.
트리거
Nah,
선수한테
nah.
정말 고맙다고 전하고 싶습니다.
Yeah, last season I definitely disappointed. I was definitely disappointed with my performance. I think that was I was just underperformed. So that being said, I'm going to prepare well to break it out. But I want to make a shout out to Trigger for preparing this
Ooh.
match against Classic. So yeah, thank you, Trigger.
Let's go.
All right, congratulations on advancing.
감사합니다.
감사합니다.
Thank you.
I was like a nervous girl there. I was like, well,
I don't know what to say.
wow, yeah.
You were so good today,
I was like,
Zoun.
yeah,
You didn't drop a single map. That was
my God.
perfect.
Oh
you're
god.
amazing.
But GG, well played. With that, we are going to be soon cutting to a short break here between series, of course. Shout to Zoun, and really cool to hear that he was practicing with Trigger. We know that last season was practicing with Classic for his matches. Here, practicing and preparing with Trigger, and hey, the practice worked well. Did work well. For now, we're going to be cutting to a short break, and when we come back, we'll have our next series. We'll have Solo versus GuMiho in an elimination match. Now, if you're a fan of Classic, do not worry, because he will have another chance to redeem himself in the next series. We'll have that chance. We'll see you soon. See you soon. Bye. We'll see you soon.
GSL Season 2.
And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to the 2026 GSL Season 2 Round of 12 Group B. We returned here with the elimination match. We already have our first player advancing on in first place in the form of Zoun, surprising us all. To be honest, Classic was the favorite player, but Zoun, he popped up in his PvP, scouting very diligently, confirming Classic's proxy of choice every game and shutting him down. And with that, Zoun does advance on in first place in his stead. But now we have our first match to determine who's going to be knocked out. Who is going to be knocked out of the tournament. We have a ZVT between Solar and GuMiho. Let's go. Let us go. We have our two players here. They are preparing, they are getting ready, and once again, I'm just excited to see GuMiho. GuMiho, if you recall, he did basically retire. He did silently retire here from StarCraft. Nowadays, GuMiho, he is working elsewhere. Like, he only part-time plays StarCraft or just plays it for fun. GuMiho doesn't really play in tournaments anymore, nowhere near as much as he used to. So that's why it was a pleasant surprise to see GuMiho qualify. It was very, very, very pleasant surprise to see GuMiho qualify for the main event for GSL. Does struggle against Zoun, and again, GuMiho is the underdog. Straight up, he's the underdog in this group, but I want to see him, you know, shine. I want to see some of those sparks of the GuMiho of old, like we used to see. So I wish to see the good games, mainly. I want to see some good games here by GuMiho. I want to see him test his limits and make a series out of this, as we have our vetoes done. Game 1 is Tourmaline, Game 2 is Mothership, Game 3 is Winter Madness. Okay. Solar does end up banning 2 aggressive maps. Instead, has defeated Ruby Rock. He also takes care of another. As we are loading into our first series, let's go. And spawning in the right-hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the red Zerg player. It is Solar. And in the other-hand corner, we have the red Terran. It is GuMiho. GuMiho. Let's go. Let us go. We have our fresh series here, and again, we do have the historical record quite close between the two players, at least in offline, a little bit more in favor of Solar in online tournaments. But as I mentioned previously, GuMiho has been very inactive. He's been very, very inactive as of late. There are a couple of players that we do know that have been that have either stepped away or have been stepping away from the game. GuMiho is an example of that. Another one is DRG. He also silently retired. Another one, of course, is Creator. Creator, for those who do not know, he didn't play in Season 1 qualifiers for GSL. Creator, he did start working in IRL. He did, you know, advance his career elsewhere and is now working an IRL job elsewhere as well. Now playing StarCraft part-time. So that has been the case for a couple of players. I think Bunny is similar, actually. I think Bunny is similar, if not mistaken. And because of that, so, you know, we've been seeing less of GuMiho, but hey, he qualified, right? He did qualify to make it through, as we have a gasless opener out of Solar. Ooh, okay, very interesting, especially on Tourmaline. So let's talk about the map itself for a moment here. Tourmaline is a smaller map than Apple. Smaller map, shorter rush distance by ground. Aggression is favored here on Tourmaline, and to go for a gasless opener typically means that Solar is going to be skipping lane speed, right? This typically means with skip lane speed, this could lead into early roaches, into an early roach all in. It could lead into early lair into an early roach all in, or it could lead into an early lair into 2-base Muta. There are a couple of options, and technically it could lead into early lair into 2-base Hydra as well. So we'll see what the gas is going to be spent on, either a fast lair or a fast roach warren, or even both. So eyes are on Solar. Meanwhile, GuMiho back at home, just going for a standard opener here. Once again, as we mentioned, roach all-ins do make sense on Tourmaline. They're very common, actually. They're very, very common at this level of play to just commit and double down with roaches, and that's very on brand for Solar. That is our assumptions coming into this. Meanwhile, GuMiho, he's of course renowned for his mech play back in the day, and mech is definitely an option here in ZVT. It is available here for GuMiho, but that he doesn't only play mech. He can play bio, and he can be terrifying with his bio play and bio style as well. We'll see. We'll see. As again, I'm just most curious to see how GuMiho has been approaching things. Something that I will say about his previous series versus Zoun is that GuMiho was trying out his own builds. Like, he was playing very unique, very different to what is in the meta, and even different to even like more niche builds as well. Like, GuMiho was just doing his own thing. And I was very interested in what he was showcasing. Even here, for example, going for the early bunker rush. The goal here is to move out the SCV and to get a bunker going outside of the third location. Behind this, going for a 1-1-1. Meanwhile, we can see Solar, he does go 2-base lair. That is a 3-minute, 5-second lair timing. A very early lair here by Solar. GuMiho checks to the third. There is no third, right? There's so really unfortunate here for GuMiho. He checks for a third base. There's no third because Solar's going 2-base lair blindly here. Solar, he's countering GuMiho. This early commitment from GuMiho isn't really paying off. There's nothing to kill. There's nothing to really strike. Now, because of the early lair, because of the early Roach Horn, this leads into early Roach speed, into a early Roach all-in timing attack. Early on, GuMiho will oppose a bit of a threat to the natural, but there are 3 queens. Yeah, there are 3 queens. Hellions can they get into the middle line, though. The boys are being pulled. 1 queen will go down. Oh, barely not. Yeah, that's nice control so far here by Solar, but the queens are getting very low. And Solar being punished for not making any links. Yeah, no Zerglings here. 1, 2 queens will go down. Nice pickoffs here by GuMiho. Gets into the mineral line and does roast off 4 drones. Oh, un momento, uno más, papi, so close. Gets another volley off. The queen is getting low. Okay, 2 queens, 4 drones. Not a bad trade here for GuMiho, and Solar's going to be committing. The roaches have arrived. Solar's breaking out. Now the question becomes, does Solar go for an all-in, or does he drone his third? We're expecting a third base at least for Larva. That is our expectations. Remember, behind this, GuMiho didn't get a third CC. He went for a 1-1-1. And now we have the answer, of course. What is Solar doing? 2-base all-in. 2-base all-in, Pneumatized Carapace. That screams Drop Lords. He's going for a German Taxi. So Solar's going for a massive 2-base all-in. Now, the problem here is that Solar's going for a 2-base all-in against a player that hasn't expanded. GuMiho still doesn't have a third. He just now slows down his third CC. That's a very late third base for GuMiho. He's been fixating on his army. So, honestly, blindly here when it comes to our builds, GuMiho, he has a good chance on surviving. He has a very good chance of surviving the all-in. He has a Viking. He's getting early tank production. It comes down to the positioning. It comes down to the engagements. Now, GuMiho does scout the third, so he's aware that Solar's expanding, and he also sees the Master Roach Raptor. He knows. For the most part, he should be aware. He doesn't fully have confirmation. I don't see any bunkers on the way. There's 1 bunker on the low ground. Tank has arrived. Is this going to be enough? As GuMiho, again, he now spots the army. I don't think he's fully aware as to what's going on. Yeah, the Roach Ravager has arrived. Solar for now going to be zoned away. Heads against the Hellions. Nice defense. And Solar's droning. Solar, lay drones, lay saturation. Solar, he does recognize he cannot kill. Yeah, cannot kill GuMiho. Solar's forced to drone. And who's in a better position here? Depends what kind of pickoffs we get. Solar, can he catch out the Ravager? Sorry, I meant to say, can he catch out the tank with the Ravagers? He's nice, very nice contamination. Contaminates the tank. Confirms the third CC. Gets very tense between the 2 players. Very tense. Solar spreading creep. Do love to see it. He's going to be forcing out scans. Delaying the third expansion even longer with creep. Oh, Jesus. Catching out the Ravager. Ravager goes down. GuMiho commits across the map. Infestors are still in production. Without the Infestors, Solar, he's in trouble. He is in trouble here. Remember, the soup is lying to you. The Roach Ravager is inflated. Tanks, can they siege in time? He's trying to push forward. Will catch a queen. Tanks, they siege up. And massive pickoffs. And Soul's being broken. Now, I'm getting deja vu here. GuMiho does abandon his tanks. But massive tank shots on the Roaches. Biles the splits. Yeah, he splits. He barely spreads out in time. More Roaches going down, and GuMiho, he's done it. He has done it. You can see Solar shaking his head on cams. Solar bleeding out too much. GuMiho still rallying. 1 tank will go down, but only 1 tank. GG gets called, and GuMiho, he will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Once again, we saw almost a blind counter out of GuMiho. So winding it back a little bit here, discussing what just happened. Solar, he opened up gases. He went for a gases opener into a 2-base all-in. Remember, Solar, he went for a 2-base all-in. GuMiho, remember, before even seeing the lack of third, GuMiho went for a 1-1-1 into a 3-1-1 setup, delayed third CC. GuMiho, he was playing 2-base as well, and 2-base versus 2-base, the Terran player's favorite, right? The Terran player has the more efficient army. Solo was hoping that GuMiho was expanding, that GuMiho was building up into a longer macro game. GuMiho wasn't. So GuMiho, he had a solid defense. Solo, he was forced to drone, forced to back off as the all-in was going to fail, and then GuMiho was able to break out and then counterattack with the army that he had built up. So GuMiho did outscale. Once again, very fortunate there by GuMiho, but at the same time, Tourmaline does favor aggression, does favor 2-base all-ins, and both players embraced it, and GuMiho came out ahead. And with that, Solar, he's in a rough position. He's in a very rough position here. We're going to be loading into Mothership for game numero 2. Let's go. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Mothership, we have the blue Zerg player. We have the South Korean Zerg. It is Solar. And in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. For the red Terran, it is GuMiho. You gotta get it in quick, Pappy. Otherwise, they just don't give you time. But here we go. We are getting into game number 2 here. GuMiho is up 1-0, and can he take the 2-0? We'll see. Welcome to Mothership. Mothership is a 3-player spawn map, and greed is often favored early on. What I will say is that Zerg players are typically favored in the mid game. In the mid to late game, the reasoning for this is because the bases are very open and the bases are very spread out. So a Terran player trying to maintain a 4 and 5 base economy can be quite difficult on Mothership. It can be quite difficult, to the point where we often just see vetoes of this map instead. So I do think that Solar's going to have an easier time on this map when it comes to macroing and expanding. I do think there's a higher chance that, oh, he's going gases again. Hello. I was going to say there's a higher chance that Solar embraces a standard game, but no. Once again, gases open out of Solar. Now, last game, this led into a 3-minute 5-second lair timing into a 2-base roach all-in. This time, because of the size of the map, I'm imagining 2-base lair again, but this time 2-base muta. Like that's where like my mind is thinking right now. Mutas can work really well on Mothership just because of the size of the map. So bigger map, longer rush distance. Mutas, they can take over the map itself and try to contain your opponents while you mass expand. But again, that's just a feeling that we got. At the end of the day, this could just be another 2-base roach all-in from Solar. He might just be done with it and just double down. Like it's possible. It's possible. We'll see what the gas is spent. We shall see. As for now, we do have GuMiho's follow-up, just going Rax expand into his own factory. Standard so far. Solo looking for his opponent. Oh, sorry, the Overlord did confirm GuMiho's location. GuMiho, I believe, it did skip any kind of Reaper scouts. So GuMiho is cutting corners. Does cut some corners here. Just going straight bio, straight marine. Solar, he's banking up that gas. Oh, and this time it is going to be a Rax factory into fast third TC. GuMiho is being more economic this time. Okay, much more economic opener out of GuMiho. Likewise, Solar gets a faster third as well. I say faster third. It's still late compared to a standard build, but a third base nonetheless. So both players are going for faster expansions. Solar does go for link speed. This tells me that Solar, I believe, is still mining gas. We have to pan to the main. He does, it looks like, leave a couple of workers in gas here. So link speed tells us that he's most likely not going to play roaches. But with continued gas mining, we still might go for the earlier lair here, but it looks like he only has 1 mining gas. Okay. So we're calming down. We're calming, yeah, as you can see, just 1 mining gas. So we're just calming down, droning, saturating. I'm still not pulling muta play off the table, not yet. But so far, we're just calming down. And we will be able to embrace the longer game this time. We could embrace the mid game. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. We have our reacted Hellion into Raven. Okay, not Banshee opener. Interesting. That's a 4-minute layer timing. This is still layer first out of Solar, but this is more of a standard layer timing here. Earlier than normal, like usually a standard layer timing is like 4:30. This here is at 4 minutes. Gases are being taken. I'm still not ruling out Muta play. I see gases, I see slightly faster layer, and I still see no Eva chambers or Baneling Nest. And we're banking a lot of gas. Show us the mutas. Safety Baneling Nest. No Eva chambers yet. We still got a bunch of gas. We have over 200 gas here. A lot getting caught out. GuMiho going for Banshee after the Raven. Interesting. And layers that done. Show us what you got. Show us the Spire. There it is. It's Bappy. We just know. We called Spire at the beginning of the game. Now, to be fair, I thought it was going to be 2-base layer into 2-base Muta. This was not that. This was still an earlier layer. It was at 4 minutes. So earlier Spire tech, and we're getting to Spire nonetheless, just in a safer way. Solo's not being as... he's not cutting as many corners getting into Mutas. But again, as we mentioned previously, Mutas are very common on Mothership just because of the size of the map. It's very, very common. And GuMiho should be aware of it. Now, my one concern is that GuMiho, he is out of the meta, he's out of practice, he doesn't play in as many tournaments, so I don't know if he's aware of the commonality of Muta play on a map like this. So far, he's still playing standard, getting into his own bio. Does curve some creep, but has yet to go into the bases. GuMiho so far has not scouted the layer timing and did not scout the Spire and didn't scout the lack of Evo chambers. There are a couple different things that you can look for that will give you a sign of things to come. The gas is being taken, lack of tech, lack of Evo chambers, earlier layer, but GuMiho's seen none of that so far. So there's no sign of mutas from GuMiho's perspective. Yeah, GuMiho once again is deflected. Does not get in. Did make that Banshee, but I don't think the Banshee's moved out yet. If it even finished. No, he hasn't. He's got that one Banshee. Banelings are going to be revealing themselves. Still not yet. Mutas are out, no turrets in position, and GuMiho's getting caught with his pants down. Oof. And Mutas, they do hit the base. GuMiho does spot this. He does react. GuMiho does react, does respond. Turning back around. It's going to be 7 SCV kills already. 7 SCVs. Bailings, they almost crash in. Quick reactions out of GuMiho. He does kite back, does pull away. Pull away in time. That was still a decent amount of economic damage, and now GuMiho just commits. Yeah, he just commits across the map. Now remember, we bring this up all the time, because whenever you go Muta play, your Link Bane is weaker, right? Eva chambers are delayed, upgrades are delayed, so this is going to be a weaker Link Bane army here for Solar. And can he survive this? Can he hold? As GuMiho commits, he's got his Hellblaster tank. A couple of Marines go down. Hellblaster getting ready for a backstab. Really, we need them in the front lines. Auto harass into the main. Bailings, they once again try to roll in. We can see Solar coming from behind with mutas, but not with Lings. Yeah, these Hellbats, they have to reposition. Ideally, you have the Hellbats protect the tanks against the Ling Bane, not against the mutas. Oh. Almost. Does at least deny the expansion. Does scan. The longer this goes on, the more Ling Bane there's going to be. GuMiho does pull away. Oh, almost. Yeah, medevacs are exposed. But GuMiho makes it back home. He makes it back. Oh, cuidado. GuMiho, he does rotate towards the south side. Pushing towards the fresh fourth base of Solar. GuMiho is leaving a lot of his reinforcements back at home. So his main army is that much weaker. Is GuMiho A-Raxing? Oh, it's a variation of A-Rax. Ah, okay. My apologies. I should have pointed that out earlier. But GuMiho, he is attempting to A-Rax. He's going for add-ons though, so he's transitioning. Bailey's out of... Oh my god. Whew. GuMiho does react in time. Catching up Banelings. Better trade for GuMiho. That's a lot of Banelings just being thrown away. And GuMiho's pushing. And he thinks about pushing. He wants a 4th. Splits up some Marines. There's a lot of Ling Bane down here. Both players are maxed out. But again, GuMiho still has a bunch of Marines devoted to defense. Yeah, how does he react? Marines, they stim in. eBay does barely go down. Nice pickup, delaying 3-3. At the same time, I don't see this army doing too much here. GuMiho just doesn't have enough reinforcements. The tank shots, so they do punish. Yeah, tank volley's going off. Ling Bane does attempt to roll in. Once again, massive tank shots on the Ling Bane. And here comes the rally. Here comes the rally. Here comes the 8-Rax. I was mentioning 8-Rax for those that are unaware. 8-Raxes means you don't get any tech labs for your Marauder, so it's pure Marine tank. It's very cheap. It's very cheap. Just 8-Raxes, pure Marine tank. It doesn't scale well into a longer game, but it does allow for a big timing attack like this. We're maxed out with a very high DPS army. Banelings, they take down the first wave of tanks. Marines, they're rallying across, and they're just too many Marines. Just man with gun. This is the power of an 8-Rax. She's just overwhelming. You can see the production. We're making 15 Marines at a time. Yeah, 15 Marines. We're just overwhelming. There are some Banelings morphing in, though. Oh, can he hold? The Banelings just in time. And with that solar, he holds on. He cleans up the army. Whew. Forcing back the bio. There's no tanks behind this, but we have more rallies. We have more reinforcements. The rally continues. There you can see there's the Marine push across the map. The rally, the parade push. That's what I was looking for. He's parade pushing. Denies the Banelings. And man with gun proves to be too much. And no shot. Coming into this, GuMiho was the underdog, but again, when it comes to the builds of choice here, Solar, he did risk it all, both game 1 and game 2, and he gets punished for it. There it is. Hands off the keyboard. Solar knows GG gets called, and GuMiho will claim the series 2-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played. GuMiho taking it old school here, going for the 8-Rax, going for the 3-base all-in. For those that are curious, when you go for an 8-Rax like this, how can you afford 8-Raxes? You don't take the gases. You don't take your gases at the 3rd base, you don't get a 2nd factory, and you don't get a 4th CC. It's basically a 3-base all-in out of GuMiho, and this works very well against players that are being greedy. And Solar was being greedy tech-wise, by going into pure Ling Bane Muta, by rushing to early Muta tech and delaying his own Ling Bane tech itself, and with that, Solar, he's out. He's out of GSL. GG, well played. We are getting ready for the final series of the broadcast. It's going to be a TVP between Classic and GuMiho. We'll see you soon after the break. See you soon.
2, 3타를 우승을 하고 그 다음 시즌에는 준우승, 왕의 귀환, 또 신의 귀환이 될
아마추어에서 이제 ASL 리거가 된 생애 최초의 결승 경체 저구왕조의 트로피를 이어받는
현 시점 가장 창의적이고 가장 공격적이고 가장 유연한 플레이를 보여주는
최고의 승률을 자랑하고 있는 진짜가 돌아왔어요.
생각에 딜레이가 없는 것 같이 움직여요.
압도적입니다. 5회 우승은 꿈이 아닌 것 같은 그런.
지금은 저의 세대입니다. 영호 형이 저한테 지는 그림이 그려져요.
원래 제자리였기 때문에 가져올 수 있도록 하겠습니다.
GSL Season 2.
And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the 2026 GSL Season 2 Round of 12 Group B broadcast. We have made it to the final series of the day. It's been a much shorter broadcast compared to last night, of course, a much more aggressive broadcast as well, as we already have our first player eliminated. It is Solar in a turn of events here. In an upset, I would have said coming into this group, Classic was favored as number 1, Solar favored as number 2, but Solar, he's the first player out of the group, out of GSL. And Classic is still fighting for his life against GuMiho in the up-and-coming decider match. Let's go. Let us go. Classic is still heavily favored in this series, but hey, GuMiho was able to prove his mettle at least in TVZ. Once again, when it came to the previous series, Solar, he was I feel like Solar, he was having too much fun and messing around a little bit too much when he didn't need to. Solar, he was not playing standard. He went for 2-base All-In in game 1. He went for 2-base Muta in game 2. Again, these very specialized builds do allow for counterplay to hit quite hard, actually, and to be shut down and to be almost hard countered. GuMiho last game whipping out, going old school, going for an 8 racks, which is quote-unquote dead, right? Like 8 racks used to be very common, used to be very meta last year. Nowadays you rarely see them, but there are these niche opportunities where you can showcase an 8 racks, and he completely shut Solar down in that last game. Again, builds in favor of GuMiho, and we'll see if he can redeem himself in this TVP. I will say that GuMiho did struggle quite hard against Zoun in the previous TVP. GuMiho did showcase some unique builds. I'm still thinking about game 1. We went for a very heavy Marauder style into what should have been a 2-base All-In. And we'll see if he has something else up his sleeve here against Classic. Oh boy. We'll see if GuMiho can cause another upset here, or if Classic will make it through. Again, it'd be an even crazy upset if Classic does not advance on in GSL. I would even say that last year, Classic, sorry, not last year, but last season, Classic underperformed. He did underperform. He got knocked out in the round of 8, whereas he was expected to be in the top 4. But let's go. Vitas are done. Vitas are done. Oh, let's go. Let's get that protein going. Oh my god. Again, GuMiho, he's getting swole. He's getting in form, getting in shape. Yeah, just chugging down some of that pre-workouts. Yeah, we know where he's going. We know. Haha. Time to hit the gym back right after this game, right after qualifying. True. As Vitas are done, game 1 is Winter Madness, game 2 Ruby Rock, in game 3 10,000 feet. And when it comes to Vitas here, Classic standard Vitas, he gets rid of Tourmaline, gets rid of Mothership. Interesting that Classic gets rid of White Rabbits, but there's also reasoning for that as well when it comes to TVP. We'll get into it. As spawning in the top left hand corner of Winter Madness, we have this South Green Protoss player from a team Virtus Pro. It is a Classic. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran. It is GuMiho. GuMiho. Let's go. Let us go, as we are going to be opening up here. GuMiho, he'll move out a little bit early with the... no, he gets spotted. Yeah, the SB moves out early on, looking to eBay block, I would imagine, but is spotted by the probe. Classic moves in and is here to delay. Oh, sorry, not an eBay block. Instead, it's going to be the quote-unquote proxy racks. Again, this is a fake proxy racks, essentially. It is not uncommon to hide the racks further back in the main, further back in the natural, or at your third base location. Classic is aware of this, and he should be checking for the racks. as GuMiho does open double gas. Ooh, double gas opener, faster factory, delayed CC out of GuMiho, and he wants to force an overreaction, and he already is. We see Classic scouting for the proxy with a second probe. This is already doing damage. Basically, Classic has one extra worker that is not mining that otherwise should be mining. So some nice inadvertent damage being dealt here to Classic, as he's searching diligently here for the proxy. And even making a Zealot first as well. Oof. Yeah, Zealot first. He finds it. There we go. He does find it. Does confirm the lack of proxy. Is now aware. And again, the damage has been done. So nice cheeky start here to GuMiho. There's that factory on the high ground. If we go for a low ground CC, then Classic might be able to punish it. He's still making that Zealot, so he can still be aggressive across the map. We'll see. Popular video balloons? I believe balloons are like the cheering feature or the donation feature on Soup. I think they still are. I know they were for Africa. I think that's still the case here as a probe does go down. Nice pick off here by GuMiho. Catching out two probes and moving out across the map. Classic does move out. And the Reaper does spot the Zealots. So nice pick up here. GuMiho here will shut down the probes. He shuts down the Reaper. So far a strong start for GuMiho. This will delay the command center, so thankfully there again is some damage being dealt here by Classic, but not much. We have the adept follow-up. Army's in position. Classic has to get the hell out of here. He has to pull away. And it is going to be that Twilight Council follow-up. So standard follow-up here at Classic. But again, it's been a shaky early game. Has been shaky. Now, typically when you invest this heavily into Reaper Hellion, the goal here is economic damage. The goal would be to bypass the units of Classic, get into the mineral line, and wreak havoc. Roast up those probes. He's going for it, and Classic, he will miss this. Ooh, he does spot it. Okay, does spot it towards the end. They spot each other. Classic, did he... the Stalker did see it, but did he? As he gets in. Yeah, he does get in. Classic's out of position. You can see him F2 back home. Massive pickups here, losing 3-4 probes. Yeah, this is getting out of hand. He gets into the main base. Classic is panicking. What does he do with the army? What does he do? As he will even lose a Stalker. Yeah, Stalker goes down. GuMiho, he could have gone into the main. Honestly, he could have gone into the main base. We're missing damage here. GuMiho, have some confidence. He could have gone in. I mean, still getting damage done, but could have been so much more. At the same time, the mine's already... Oh my god, massive connections. Classic, shaking his head on cams there. Both Stalkers go down. Across the map, Stalkers do warp in, but GuMiho could have dealt game-ending damage. If he had had the confidence to go into the main mineral line, he would have killed so many probes, but he just didn't know. He just didn't know. Again, he wasn't feeling too confident in going further in. He was like, this is good damage. I don't want to take any more chances, and... in the end, Classic does take damage, but and GuMiho is ahead. Could have been more, but still GuMiho is in a good position. GuMiho is in a good position here. He's ahead in workers, ahead in army. Now moving out with his mine drop. Yeah, you can see Classic. You can see hand off the keyboard for a moment there. He knows that it's just a rough start. It's a rough game for Classic. It's not looking good. Mine drop comes in. Ooh, does kill the first Widow Mine, thankfully. Second Widow Mine into the main base. Gets a full scout, confirming the Twilight Council. Once again, does focus on the no! Oh no! Classic, that should not have happened. Oh no! I mean, you can see Classic knows. That's game ending. As a game ending damage, that should never have happened. 13 probe kills. The stars are aligning for GuMiho here. And you can see Classic is very frustrated on cams. I mean, for good reason. Like, that's... I mean, yeah. Now, there is still a chance, of course. There's always, like, a slither of hope here that maybe GuMiho messes up, and maybe GuMiho, because he's out of practice, maybe he nerves get to him and he starts making mistakes. But at this point of the game, that's what Classic is hoping for. You can see here, the Hail Mary play. What do we say, Fappy? When behind Dark Shrine. I don't know if you noticed, well, in the production tab, Dark Shrine is in production. It's the one hope here. You can see Classic, he's all over the place, like on the camera. He's like, it's all he's got. But there's a safety turret. No, there's a safety turret here by GuMiho. He is so secure. Safety turret at the natural. Tanks are in position. Classic, he blinks into tank range. Oh my god, massive tank shots. Oh god. It's all falling apart, Pappy. And again, Classic, the only chance he has is that GuMiho makes mistakes. And so far, he's not making mistakes. GG gets called, and GuMiho takes game number 1. Whew. Oh, but just chug that pre-workout, Pappy. He's working out. He's flexing on us. Look at him go. It's like, Solar who? Classic what? It's like, I haven't played StarCraft in so long. I don't know these people. Ah, let's go. GuMiho. Especially because of the towel, because of the wristband. Like, he's got the full gym setup back. Let's go and go do legs right after this. Damn. GuMiho. Does he upset? Does he take the 2-0? I mean, again, so running it back and talking about the game itself, it was just a really unlucky start for Classic. So when it came to the game itself, remember, GuMiho, he faked Classic out, so GuMiho had a lead early on due to the fake proxy Rex. Classic, he lost his first Zealot, and if you recall, it all snowballed out of control when Classic missed the Reaper Hellion. When he missed the Reaper Hellion, that was already critical damage. We spoke about how GuMiho could have just ended the game then and there, but he was already just getting ahead from that move out as Classic missed the army. The Stalker spotted the move out, but he himself didn't really register that. He didn't quite notice it himself. And then we had the mine drop, and that just ended the game. That just ended the game. And with that spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have Classic. In the bottom right, we have GuMiho. So just very unfortunate initial builds for Classic. And unfortunate scouting as well. Again, Classic, he's favored. He's top 2 Protoss in the world. He was meant to have been out, been through first in the group here, but now struggling in the decider match. Do we get an ace match, or does GuMiho close it out? For now, standard opener. For now, racks expand. Standard opener to GuMiho. No cheeky proxy, no cheeky racks. Just like against Zoun, he is going for his racks further back next to the gas geyser. The goal here is again just to try to force an overreaction, but Classic confirmed pretty early on. I guess the other upside is that we get to keep the racks protected against like an early proxy. But overall, we're just opening up. Likewise, single gas opener here out of GuMiho. The Classic does confirm, so he knows it's an economic build. Welcome to Ruby Rock. Now, here on Ruby Rock, this map does favor 2-base all-ins. And honestly, I want to see GuMiho do the same Marauder build he did in game 1 against Zoun. Do it here, but this time commit into a 2-base all-in. That's what I would love to see here, but we'll keep an eye on GuMiho. Meanwhile, for Classic, we go to lock in, right? Like, GuMiho didn't do anything special last game. Remember, the Stalker saw the Reaper Hellion. Like, he saw it. Classic just didn't notice on the minimap. Likewise, Classic, he didn't react in time against the Widowmine drop either. So far, it is the reactions of Classic that are failing him in this series. You know what it is? It's the pre-workout. It's like... Classic, he needs to take a swig. I don't know if you noticed, but in previous GSL matches, Classic, he has been sipping on whiskey. Not today, though. We're missing it. Helps take the edge off, but we're lacking that in this series. I mean, I'm assuming it's whiskey. It could be like bourbon or something like that. Something of that nature. As from here, we are getting to our own 1-1-1 proxy starport out of GuMiho. With this, the goal should be for a Hellion drop. Should be a Hellion drop into the mineral line to wreak havoc. And so far, he has 2 Hellions. Oh, it doesn't get up to 4. Wait, what? Usually it's 4, as you can then start one-shotting workers, but this is a little bit more chaotic here. He's going to be dropping with Hellions, yes, but with a mixture of units of Hellion, Reaper, Marine, Marauder. It's a bit of a Frankenstein drop here out of GuMiho. Has potential, but more unorthodox, for sure. Much more unorthodox. Boosting into the mineral line. We'll see how quickly Classic reacts. As you mentioned previously, Classic's reactions have been lacking so far this series. Drops in. Yeah, does drop in. Sorg is in position. GuMiho does pick up. Does drop towards the natural. It rotates over. The natural base is more exposed. There's a battery though, and Classic should defend. Yeah, Classic is fine. Oof, Hellion goes down. So far, lost mine time, but no major losses. And no major damage here, and GuMiho is forced out. Okay, so far, nice defensive by Classic. He's had the cleanest early game so far out of this series. Much cleaner early game. GuMiho at least preserves the army, and behind this, oh, do you see what I see? I see a 3-1-1 setup with delayed starport production. This feels like an early sim timing. GuMiho setting up for the early timing. Meanwhile, Classic is going for a delayed third. Interesting. So very late third base for Classic. You can see he's going for early charge and early storm, early Temple Archives. If GuMiho goes for a 2-base all-in, Classic's gonna be ready for it. Because of Classic's build, Storm will be done in time for said 2-base all-in. So Classic is forcing a longer game out of GuMiho, and GuMiho so far doesn't know. He doesn't know that the third is as late as it is. So if GuMiho blindly commits into a 2-base all-in, then he's gonna run into storms. So I'm very concerned for GuMiho. Technically, an all-in could still work against this kind of build, but I mean, Classic, it's designed to shut down all-ins. Massive tank shot. Here comes the Unsiege. Can GuMiho hit pre-storm? As he moves out, Classic moves in. Does hit the main. Classic, he can always recall. GuMiho, he commits. It's all or nothing. It's all or nothing here. And GuMiho, he will hit pre-storm. Classic, I'm sure he notices. He's like, where are you? What's going on? Get ready back at home. We need warpins. We need batteries. There we go. Batteries are being thrown down. High tempo are amassing. And the weak condition for Classic is buy time for storm. Just buy time for storm. And Classic will defend. He needs a couple of seconds. You can see here, 10 seconds. 10 seconds away. And GuMiho, I mean, how can he push into this? He's going to try. Oh, there's the first storm. Yeah, first storm connects. Oh my god, GuMiho mouth agape, Pappy. Oh my god. He's like, storm is crazy. What's going on? Why is it done? Yeah, Zell's taking it in. Nice pre-split against the storms. Yeah, very nice pre-split here, but Zell's getting into the bio army, getting into the tank, and Classic holds. Yeah, Classic, he does hold, he does defend, cleans up the tanks. I say that, the Marauder reinforcements do break through the Zealots at least. Oh, but cannot keep pushing. Yeah, he cannot keep pushing here. Stalkers are coming from behind. Nice juggling here with the Prism. And the all-in is failing. The all-in is failing. As you mentioned, Classic's build of choice is designed to shut down 2-base all-ins, just because Storm finishes just in time to defend. And Classic now claiming his third base, up in workers, getting ahead in economy. And things looking dire for GuMiho. Things are looking dire. So we can see GuMiho going for a second wave, a second all-in. Now, how many High Temple have warped in here? There's a chance that... no, Classic sees it. I was going to say, there's a chance that Classic, maybe he's too greedy as a follow-up, and he tries to be economic and tries to get further ahead. He gets caught out, but he saw the push. Right? He saw the push. He's got Templar ready in the main. He's ready. Oof, massive storm once again. Storm lands. Oh god, the second storm. Yeah, Marines, they just melt. They melt against the storm, and we don't have a third storm. Okay. But GuMiho cannot keep pushing. The army's just so battered and so bruised. GuMiho's forced out. And again, the longer this goes on, the better it is for Classic. As Classic has the better economy, building up the higher tech army. Now, GuMiho did preserve his tanks at least, and here come the boys once again. Yeah, here comes the boys. Here comes wave 3. The third round, the third wave. As GuMiho pushes, Classic gets into the mineral line. Again, either GuMiho kills Classic or dies trying, and the question becomes, we have 6 High Templar. Oh my god. There is 6 Templar waiting. Now, if we can somehow bait out the storms early or snipe the High Templar, then maybe. There's the first storm, DC in action. There's a second storm. There's going to be at least 4 more storms left. The Liberation has arrived. Oh, it does tank a storm. Oh god. Yeah, 2 storms, but hey, a big chunk of bio goes down in the process. Has at least 2 more storms available. I mean, I'm liking the use of Liberation Zones, and here comes the army. He commits. Yeah, he does go for the dive. GuMiho force the kite back behind the tanks. And Liberation, they try to hold their own. They do connect. Oh my god, the Stalkers, they're going down. He's doing it. Classic overextends. No shot. He pushed into the Liberation Zones. He didn't have to. He did not have to push in. He could just wait for GuMiho to come to him, and GuMiho's doing it. He's doing it. Again, Classic just had to play it safe. Just play it slow. Would he push into the... Oh my god, that's a brutal storm. That's a crazy storm. The army's 1 storm away from going down. Look at how low the Marauders are. They're so low. Immortal rallies in. Immortal goes down. GuMiho is doing it. A little bit more un poquito más. Ah, god. Stalkers are coming from behind. GuMiho is ready for the flank. Immortals, they do dive in. He gets 1, he gets 2 tanks. Yeah, massive pickoffs. 2 tanks go down. There's 1 tank left. Oh, and with the surround, it's still very, very close here. Stalkers are falling. We have more rallies across the map. Overstimmed there by GuMiho. And Classic holds. Whew. That was so close. That was so close. If a couple of storms were worse, then maybe GuMiho pulls this off. Because again, his army was so very low from all the storms. Especially that final storm out from Classic. For a moment there, I was like, we just had another brutal storm. Yeah, GuMiho, he's transferring his bases over. It's very messy here. Yeah, very messy. I believe he was meant to float over his main, but he accidentally floated over his natural. Like, floating over the natural makes less sense. So that was a misclick. It was meant to be the main base. So again, GuMiho is making mistakes. Now is not the time. And the window is closed. At this point, the window has closed. GuMiho was close though. Like again, I could definitely see it happening. Again, if one of the storms just didn't connect as well as it did, then maybe. Jumps into the main, denies +2, not bad. Nice the upgrade, but oh, it was a full medevac for it. Oh god. Alright, double goes down. Oh my god, massive storm in the Marines. Yeah, you can see, again, GuMiho's bases are very messy here. He's panicking a little bit. His attention is being spread thin, so we have inefficient mining. Again, the main was meant to be the one that floated over, not the natural. That's why it's all messy. Drops into the main. Here come the storms. Nice pre-split this time from GuMiho. Oh, God, oh no, he goes back in. He goes back in. No, he goes back into the storms. Crazy damage. And this is going to be the final push here for GuMiho. As he bleeds out to 2 more medevacs. Does preserve a decent chunk of his army. Still long distance mining. Yeah, you can see GuMiho shaking his head. I wonder if he just hadn't noticed the mining that was going on. Maybe. At the same time, I understand GuMiho's frustrations because he was close. The reality, he was very close. He almost pulled off the upset then and there, this game. Casito, papi, casito. despite the rough start as well. Remember, like the initial 2-base all-in failed hard for GuMiho, but it was the third wave, if you remember. It was the second wave like dropped into the main, but the third wave that almost pulled it off when Classic overextended and overcommitted into Liberation and Siege Lines. That was the best fight that GuMiho could have hoped for, but just barely not enough. Now we have Colossi amassing 2 Colossus. Now it isn't just Storm, but now Colossus as well. At this point, Classic, you can just send it. You can just send it across. Ooh, massive storms. Here the army just melts. Does get 1 Colossus. Just the 1. And GG. GG gets called with that Classic. He'll survive the aggression, and we are going to the ace match. Whew. GG. GG, well played. We're going all the way to game 3. Oh god, Classic, calm down. A little bit frazzled. It was an intense game. It was very, very intense. There it is. That's all we needed. Take the edge off. Take the edge off, Pappy. That's all we were missing. Whew. He's locked in. He's powered up. That's the Classic equivalent of the pre-workout that GuMiho has been chugging. That's the equivalent. Take a swig. Let's go. Let us go. The final game here is going to be on 10,000 feet. 10,000 feet here. Very small map. Very small map. Short rushes and spike round. Aggression can be favored here. I would assume that Classic will blindly go for a safe build. I feel like we got to go for a safe build. Yo, how much do we have in the shaker, Pappy? Oh my god. It's endless. It's crazy. Whew. But here we go. Here we go. We're getting ready here for the third and final game of the series. The third and final game of the broadcast, actually. Remember, Zoun is already in the round of 8, and now we're here to confirm. Will it be Classic? Will it be GuMiho to join him? Let's go. Let us go. As we have our ace match, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the South Green Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss for Virtus Pro. It is Classic. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Green Terran player. It is GuMiho. Oh, GuMiho. Has Classic, it's his turn to spice things up again. After taking the edge off, it is time to proxy. Going for the proxy gateway here. Still technically on Classic's half of the map. It's not as committed here, but it is a way to keep the pressure up. It is a way to be aggressive early on, and a way to disrupt the early build of GuMiho. Assuming the GuMiho goes for the Rax expands. True. As the gateway has been thrown down, with this Classic, you'll be able to get a fast Zealot across the map, a very fast Zealot into a fast second gateway unit reinforcement, typically Adept or Stalker. But it's double gas opener. So GuMiho is going for a faster factory, going for a delayed CC, and there is a chance that he does get the CC on the high ground. There is a chance. So the gamba is real. And we'll see if Classic gambles correctly. Does he gamble well? As here we go. As here comes the first, now the second Zealot. We're banking up Zealots here, and again, we're hoping that GuMiho commits on the low ground. We're now Reapers are amassing. Scouting the natural expansion. They'll check behind the gas guys before moving out across the map. There it is, CC on the low ground. Ideally, Classic wants to avoid the first Reaper, slip in, and then force a cancel on the CC. Can he force that cancel? As Reaper gets across. It's going to be on Classic to use his worker micro here. The Nexus timing has been revealed. Now it is go time. Classic commits. Reaper's racing back home. He's racing back. And the command center will be delayed. So at least we will delay the command center. Stalker does hold his own against the Reaper. The Reaper getting quite low. Oh, can he catch up the Reaper? The second one. Barely not. Yeah, barely does not. Both Reapers get away. And GuMiho, he defends the main. He defends the main base, but again, will he be forced to cancel? He should be. Oh, he wants to fight for it. He's crazy. He's one of the boys. Yeah, boys are being pulled. Classy does try to commit. And in the end, he gets zoned away. Wow, very nice defense here by GuMiho. He does shut down both Zealots. He zones away the Stalkers. Minimal losses by GuMiho. Doesn't lose any SCVs. And GuMiho, he maintains the low ground. He expands. I would say a better start for GuMiho because he does catch out both Stalkers. Both Stalkers will go down. Massive Pickles. He wants another Stalker. He's going to get it as well. And then he can counterattack. And back at home, there's nothing to defend. Okay, the Stalker does recall. Does recall in time. But Classic's in trouble. As GuMiho, he has a choice to make. Does he go across the map? Does he stay at home to defend? Stays home. He does stay home. Staying in the tall grass. Behind this, getting a second Rex. Did go for the 1-1-1 follow-up into second Rex. Medevac is on the way for Widow Mine drop. Okay. Going for the mine drop. The game is continuing from here. As the game settles in, GuMiho is in a stronger position. I mean, I say that. Classic did devote quite heavily into trying to force a cancel, and he failed to do so. He lost a lot of Stalkers. The worker count is decent for Classic, but again, he did bleed out a lot of units here in the early game to try to break the natural base. Failed to do so. GuMiho's across the map. Uh-oh. GuMiho's across the map. Hellions low on HP. The Hellion will fall. Massive pickoff. Nothing at home to defend. Yeah, GuMiho, he does risk it all with the move out, and he will lose all this mining time. Oof. Mining time is being lost. Reapers are deflected. GuMiho's in trouble. As GuMiho does fall behind. It's falling behind. At the same time, does Classic react in time? Jesus. As Widow Mine does give chase. So far, just getting one probe. Nice retargeting. Okay, one probe goes down, two probes go down. Saves one of the mines. Stalkers, they commit into the tank, but with the mass repair, the tank should survive. Yeah, that was not worth it. Oh my god. Two Stalkers fall, and both Widow Mines escape. So, overall, nice harass by GuMiho. Very nice harass. He was able to stabilize economically, at least keep up in the worker counts. GuMiho pulls out. And Classic going to charge. Interesting. Yeah, charge follow-up still on two bases. Is that a Templar Archives? Yes. Okay, so same build 2 games in a row. No surprises here, but as a reminder, on Ruby Rock, we saw that Classic, he was trying to hard counter a 2-base all-in by going a fast storm, and he was able to. Despite that, GuMiho's third wave of attack was very strong and almost still killed Classic, but Classic's initial defense was solid, as it was Classic overextending later on, which did allow for GuMiho to overwhelm and almost win the game. Here it's very similar. Classic staying on 2 bases for a very long time. Going into charge, going into gateways, going into the forge, and going into storm as well. So Classic's going for a very late third, and that means that Classic will fall behind in a macro game, but the assumption is that this is not a macro game, right? The assumption is that GuMiho is going to commit on 2 bases, which means Classic has the advantage. Assuming that GuMiho all-ins. As Classic does harass. Catching out, he will lose 2 probes actually across the map, okay. And does have to harass. Storm will be done in time. And GuMiho is waiting for Stim. Waiting for Stim, waiting to build up his army. Incorporating a handful of Marauders. And I still don't see a third CC for GuMiho. Here he comes. Does he pull the boys? Yeah, he does. Yeah, 2-base all in. 2-base all in out of GuMiho. He does commit. The Observer does spot the move out. So Classic is aware completely. Classic sees everything, and remember, Storm is now done. And here they go. Another tank rotation. No, he does catch the tanks. One tank goes down, two tanks go down, and GuMiho falls apart. He falls apart completely here. The third tank does barely survive, but that is a brutal start. The backbone of the army of the tanks, and now he's down to one. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, the worst start imaginable here for GuMiho. Storms, they just dominate. As you mentioned, Classic was blindly countering an all-in, and GuMiho, he gave him what he wanted. He gave him the all-in. And here come more Storms. Oh my god. Yeah, Storm behind the army. Forcing him forward, warping it in the face of GuMiho. He warps in the face. Oh god. And Classic, he wants that tank. He wants the tank. He doesn't quite get it. But still a better fight for Classic. He still has another Storm. And GuMiho, he has nothing behind this. Like, it's looking rough. He's running out of steam, running out of army. Again, we could have seen a 2-0 in favor of GuMiho. I'm still thinking about game 2. Game 2 was so close. But here, Classic is all over GuMiho. I was more than ready for the all-in. This time, Classic was proactive, thanks to the Observer, of course. The Observer, even now, still sees the all-in continuing. The Observers, they see everything. Classic, he sees all, he knows all. He just has to play it safe. As he sees the rotation on the right-hand side. Once again, the Observer. Oh, gets spotted. Observer goes down. Classic is fully saturated on 2 bases. Full saturation. Here come all the boys from the main base and the natural. And this is the final push. The final moments here for GuMiho. This is his final chance. Either he kills Classic or he dies trying. And Classic hasn't been too greedy. How many Storms? He has 6 high Templar. There's 2 Storms, there's at least 4 left. At least 4 left. Ooh, nice mine shot. Prism goes down. Good start for GuMiho. As he goes back through the storm. Oh, good. Goes back and forth through the storms. The storms, they just keep coming. They just keep coming, Pappy. Oh, God. GuMiho's like, what the hell is this storm? Why is it lasting so long? I didn't play with this. We can see Classic coming in from behind, looking to surround. Now the storm lands. There's a decent minefield, but these elves, they should trade well. Very nice mine connection. Oh my god, the mine shots are crazy. Mine shots, but despite that, it's still not going to be enough anyway. The tank does finally fall. Now it's just a bio army. Just Marines and Marauders. And with that, Classic is looking to snowball out of control to shut down the all-in and be the second player to make it through into the round of 8 out of Group B. As GuMiho is down to 29 SCVs under 1 base saturation. we just keep pulling the boys, but keep going, keep going. Ay, ay, ay. ¿Por qué no, papi? ¿Por qué no? ¿Por qué no? Maria, as you can see, drops into the main base. He does shut down some of the production at least. Does force a reaction. Classic, is he ready at his 3rd? Is he ready for the split push? Do we have a storm? The answer is yes. The answer is yes, he is ready. The boys are waiting for their orders here. We got you. Where you want us? He's like, I don't know. I think so. When did you win the last game? True. The last game, Pat. That's Classic at this point, just pulling back the army. GuMiho cannot engage head on, not like this. Massive Archon shots. Oof. Marauders go down. Just trying to catch any kind of transferring workers or transferring army or any stray units. Oh my god. The Storms. Oh no, he goes to the Storms. GG gets called. GG gets called. I mean, the writing was on the wall for quite some time, and Classic will claim the series 2-1, advancing on into the round of 8. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, a very intense back and forth here. Surprising back and forth, to be honest. Oh, geez, yeah, chug it down. One shot. GG, well played. Again, Classic will advance on in second place into the round of 8, but I'll be honest, game 2 was very shaky. Game 2 was very close, very clutch, and we almost had GuMiho making it through 2-0. That would have been insane. But again, Classic, he barely was able to clutch it out, was able to hold on, land those storms in critical moments and critical times, and with that, survive the aggression. And Classic, despite being the favorite player, barely makes it through, and I believe we should have a winner's interview. I believe we're getting ready here for the women's interview. Big shout out to Maddox, of course, for translating for us, and I believe Staten Tasteless will be coming in. I can't wait to hear Tasteless ask what his plans are and what the expectations are for the playoffs, for the round of 8, I should say. Classic, he'll say, I'm disappointed in my performance last season, being knocked out before the semis, and I'll try to make it through. Work hard.
All right, congratulations, Classic, on your second place finish here today in Group B. More than anything, I just want to ask you, how are you feeling? Because today it felt like you were really tested. There were a lot of ups and downs. Where do you feel about your position in the game right now? Do you feel confident? Do you think you'll be better in the round of 8?
일단 김도호 선수 진출 축하드리고요. 첫 번째 질문은 오늘 굉장히 좀 우여곡절이 많았는데 오늘 좀 경기에 대해서 좀 어떻게 평가하시고 그리고 8강에서는 좀 더 플레이에 대해서 좀 자신감이 있으실지 8강 올라가셔서 그게 좀 궁금하네요.
네, 일단 승자전에 끝부전에 약간 한 소리여서 좀 쉽게 올라가나 싶었는데 이렇게 힘들게 올라갈 줄 몰랐고요. 최종전에서도 고병재 선수가 올라왔길래 좀 수월하게 올라갈 수 있을 거라고 생각을 했는데 생각보다 너무 준비를 잘해와서 이렇게 힘들게 올라갈 줄 몰라서 지금 너무 힘드네요.
Yeah, I feel exhausted today because I was caught off guard by both Zoun and GuMiho because when I was gonna play with Zoun in a winners match, he's not good at PvP, so I would get an easy win. But actually, he made a brilliant plays that series, so that caught me off guard so much. And also, when the finals match is going to be against GuMiho, it's going to be an easy match also. But I think I underestimated him. He prepared a lot, so yeah, I think that was a really tough time for me.
Going into the round of 8, what are your goals for this season of GSL, and how far do you think you can go?
At this point, like, is Tasteless even asking the question, or did he like he just has a recording of the same line that he just plays every time? True.
이번 시즌에 좀 어떤 점을 더 좀 보완하거나 목표로 하실지 좀 궁금합니다.
일단 저번 시즌에 오프라인 무대를 못 간 게 너무 아쉬워서 목표는 4강 가서 오프라인 무대 가는 게 목표고요. 저번에 좀 상대가 준비해온 거에 제가 좀 대처를 못하면서 떨어지는 모습을 보여줬어가지고 이번에는 좀 저도 준비를 열심히 하고 상대 준비에 따라 좀 좋은 대처를 할 수 있도록 하는 게 제 목표입니다.
Yeah, last season it was a real bummer that I couldn't make to offline finals. So that being said, I'm pushing through I'm trying myself to push through the groups, and last time I didn't really counter the enemy builds and enemy preparations. So I'll be more trying myself to counter all those plays that the opponents might bring.
Thank you very much. Best of luck to you in the rest of the tournament.
감사합니다.
네, 감사합니다. Thank you.
Disappointed with the questions from both State and Tasteless here this time. Honestly, so okay. This is the fan fiction time. If we were able to ask our own questions, first things first. For those that remember, and maybe State and Tasteless don't remember what happened last season, Classic coached down. remember he was coaching Zoun for Zoun's round of 8 group, and Zoun was giving a lot of credit to Classic for that as well. And if you remember, Zoun and Classic were really close in the behind the scenes videos that were being released as well. So I would have posed a question a little bit differently here, where State was like, wow, you got really tested and you almost didn't make it through, like, how you feeling right now? I'd have been like, yo, Classic, you took Zoun under your wing, Bab. You took him under your wing, you know, you taught him everything you know, and now we got Zoun beating you. Like, how do you feel about that series versus Zoun? You know, do you regret helping him out? You know, we heard that Trigger was helping out Zoun when it came to practice, things of that nature. Obviously, we knew that Classic underestimated. That was like the big sign of both series, was he had underestimated both GuMiho and Zoun, and it would be a nice moment to just to have a bit of fun with it, just to break the ice and have him get into it. Here he was obviously very disappointed in his play, and we had some more generic answers as a result of that, but that, like, you can go into what we heard earlier as the next time, of course, we have next week's matches. Clem, what? I just realized, I know that Clem has longer hair now, but he's got his hair up. Like, he's got like a mullet going on. What's happening? Remember that I was like, what's going on? But yes, we do have our top 4 players here for Group A: Hero, Classic, Here, and Clem. They're going to be facing off. Another question you can ask as well is specifically about the groups, just because we already knew the groups ahead of time. We already knew where players are going to be landing as well, so you can actually ask him about his upcoming players and upcoming matches. That's another kind of line of question you can go down if you don't want to be a little bit more fun with the question asked and posed. But regardless, here we go. We're getting into with that, we're wrapping up here for the day. We're going to be back, of course, this weekend with the RSL playoffs, and next week we'll be back with a GSL round of 8, so Group A and Group B. Bearing in mind as well that we are going to be actually hosting our own tournament tomorrow. When it comes to our weekly schedule, Bam, let's quickly head on over here. We are live with the Sparkling Tunic Cup. Now, our weekly schedule is a little bit different this week. I was losing my voice. I was losing my voice a couple of days ago, and even now I'm not at 100%. That is why we did skip Pegasus Cup. That's why we had to cut the Kung Fu Cup stream short, and why we skipped Code for Giants Cup this tomorrow morning as well. Like, we have been missing a couple of broadcasts this week because even now, like, I was losing my voice on Tuesday, and we're taking a little bit easy until I can fully recover. So Code for Giants Cup we will not be hosting tomorrow morning, but we will be live with Tunic Cup tomorrow evening. The Tunic Cup will still go on, and of course we have RSL over the weekend and GSL rebroadcast on Saturday and Sunday. So still plenty of StarCraft going on, but we did end up removing a couple of morning casts just so I can try to rest my voice and to make sure it doesn't get worse, because I straight up lost my voice on Tuesday mid-stream casting Kung Fu Cup. If you want to watch the VOD is there, but it was game 2 between Bjorn and Hero, and halfway through the game you could hear, like, suddenly, like, I was just struggling hard. Like, I could barely speak, I could barely enunciate, and we had to end it early. We'll have to wrap up the Kung Fu Cup final stream another time, but yeah, we've been taking it a little bit easy as a result of that. Still casting every day, but now only once a day. We usually cast twice a day, but if you're curious as to why my voice was dying on Tuesday, it's because of GSL over the weekend. Like, the GSL cast on Sunday was very, very intense. The GSL finals, like, I was straining my voice during the GSL finals. I noticed it, and it all kind of hit me. It all just kind of culminated into what happened Tuesday morning. Oof. That's actually why we didn't cast the What Is TV Monday either. The What Is TV Monday cast Monday evening. Like, I could also tell that my voice was dying, so, like, I didn't cast What Is TV Monday evening, but you know, still didn't make it through Kung Fu Cup. So we're just trying to take it a little bit easier here with looking after ourselves. And with that, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow with Tunic Cup, and then over the weekend with RSL. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. We do appreciate it. If you want to support the GSL, you can do so via Patreon, patreon.com/GSL. You can, of course, support the event. Bam, we actually have our supporters here before us. Beautiful. We have our Codes/Plus supporters on Soup, and soon to be our top patrons as well. I see Paradista even. I see Kronos as well. True. I see a lot of the regular Korean supporters. Do love to see it. I see Ghost Mech. Beautiful. I think that's Inu TV. I think he's a supporter as well. Hajin. As again, with that, we're going to be wrapping up. So take care of yourselves, enjoy yourselves. We'll be back tomorrow with Tunic Cup. Make sure you look after your voices, of course. Everyone out there, posture check as well. And again, shout out to GuMiho, by the way. He put on quite a show. Crazy show, baby. Crazy show. We'll see you guys next time.